Okay, up next we have the Bentonville Tigers with head coach Pennington. How you doing, Coach?
Doing well. Thanks for having us out here, man.
Man, it's an honor. Thank you for coming. Coach, introduce yourself and who you brought with you.
Absolutely. Coach Kyle Pennington. This is my second year with the Bentonville Tigers. Excited to be back home for me. Over here to my right, I've got Mar Lee, junior guard, 6'5" junior guard. I've got Truman Wheeler, 6'7" junior forward. I've got Quinn Hosley, 6'3" senior guard. And then I've got Kyan Franklin, a 6'4" junior guard. Quinn is our only senior on this team. Last year we were senior heavy. We had 6 of those guys and they all played. Quinn is the only returner up here for us that played last year for the Tigers. Obviously, Marlee has played a lot of high school basketball. This will be his 3rd year starting at the 6A level, and so brings a lot of experience to it. He is a Bentonville guy. He's coming back home, and we're excited to have him with us. Truman Wheeler, also a former Bentonville guy that came back to us. He has varsity experience at P Ridge. So we've got experience. Kyan Franklin, the same way. We've got experience, just not together. And so the first 6 to 8 games of our non-conference schedule are going to be very important for us, for chemistry, how we gel, and then just overall gameplay as a team.
So you was kind of leading to my next question. So considering that the seniors are all gone, 6 of those are gone, so what's some of the challenges that you think this team will face, or what's some of the challenges that you're looking to overcome coming into this season?
Sure, I think, anytime you have a older group of kids, there's a lot of leadership built in with those kids. And I think these guys have done a great job, Nigel, of taking on that leadership. But until you're in that experience, until you have that time, that has to come. And so this season, that's going to be, again, the first 6 to 8 games of the season. We think we know roles, and we think we know exactly what everyone's going to do, but there's going to be some tweaks. There's going to be some things that we got to change a little bit, and so we look forward to that. That's the part of this that's the most fun. So.
One of the recent headlines for your program, you hired Courtney Fortson, former Razorback, as Director of Player Development. Obviously had a great overseas career once his Razorback career concluded. Just talk about what he's brought to your team and to your players so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Courtney's been really good. Been with us for a couple weeks now. Very excited for him to be a part of our program, Kyle. I believe that as far as where high school basketball is going in general, I think having someone on staff at high schools, in my opinion, that can be skill development trainers alongside of also being a on-the-floor coach, I think it's going to trend that way, and I think we're ahead of the trend right now with that. I love all skills trainers. We've got many guys in Northwest Arkansas that do a great job with that, but I think it's very important that 7 through 12, you can have someone in your program that can help develop kids the way that you want to get them developed for your program and then for the college level. And so he's just in the beginning stages of that side. He's really done a great job of hopping in to our practices and being a big part of what we're doing. I think the kids really enjoy him. He's building relationships with each of these kids, and so we're excited to have him, and honestly honored to have him a part of our staff.
Coach, you've been at Bentonville for a year now. You've been at a few different pretty notable spots along the way. What are some I'm going to rephrase that. Bentonville's viewed as one of the better jobs in the state. How do you handle the pressure that comes with such a great job?
Sure. In the last 18 months, I think I've heard that either on the record or off the record 100 times. Seriously. I don't even think of it like that, Nick. I really don't. That's not coach speak. I'm going into practice each day trying to get better. We talk about taking one step forward each day. At the end of the practice, I literally ask them, did we take a step forward today? They say yes, or we have a conversation if it's a no. Like, obviously we need to take steps forward. We're a day-by-day program. We want to continue to grow and get better each day. Again, adding a Coach Fortson to an assistant role along with Blaine Brewington and Shea Baldwin. We've got a great staff in place for these guys. We've got a great group of players, and so we're going to stay focused on relationships within our program and building our program, and the pressure and all those things are going to kind of take care of themselves.
And I don't want to take up too much time with this one, but you had Taylor Peters. He got drafted. He was one of your guys. Is that something that you saw at Russellville? Is that someone you saw that you thought maybe he could be an NBA guy one day? And trying to give you a little bit of a spotlight for that one.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I wanted to bring Talon up. I think Talon is a guy that definitely needs to be brought up in this state. A kid that was a little bit of a late bloomer when it came to basketball. Was a overall state champion in track and high jump 2 years in a row. Senior year didn't even get to do that because of COVID. He signed with John Pelfrey in Tennessee Tech late during COVID. So I think it's kind of crazy to see his journey, but I hope what it does is it inspires other kids in the state of Arkansas that everybody's route's different, right? And people say that all the time, but I love when you can give true examples. Nick Smith's route and Taylor Peters' route, two completely different routes to the same place, right? And so stay focused on your journey and grow with that, but very proud of Taylor Peter and the young man that he's become and the player he's become for sure.
Well, this is for the players. So Coach already stated about the expectations. What are you all expectations, and how have you prepared yourself to complete those expectations? Starting with you, Mark.
Every day, come in practice, working our tails off every single day, and just playing every game like we have a chip on our shoulder and a target on our back, just ready to play against everybody and do our thing.
Yeah, just to go off what he said, just coming into practice with the same motor, listening to Coach, doing what he says, and just giving our all every single day, because that's all they expect out of us, is just to hold up to the Bentonville culture.
For sure. When you see our Bentonville team hit the floor, kind of different from previous years, you're going to see the toughest version of us every night. We may not score the ball as well some nights, we may not shoot as well, but you're going to see the best, toughest team on the floor. So there's a couple games last year where it felt like we just quit. And there was a couple games where it felt like that wasn't the brand that we're trying to portray. But this year, without a doubt, you're going to see the toughest, best version of us on the floor every night.
Yeah, I feel like just to compete, get extra shots up after practice, on the weekends, getting extra work in to help your team to succeed.
Yeah, so Coach Pete always, his mindset as far as his non-conference schedule, always been some of the toughest competition. Talk about, for each one of you players, talk about how important facing a non-conference schedule that's competitive, that can help prepare you all for the season.
Coach P is always going to help us grow, and hoping that we always grow every single day, So our non-conference schedule is going to be tough. We may not, I hope to go win all of them, but sometimes that doesn't happen. You might drop some, but that's just going to prepare us for March and the conference season to get better during the preseason, and just keep on moving forward and getting better at every single game.
Like Coach said, every day is building, just like you're building the team every single day, and every single preseason game, we're just going to build it up. We want to go win it all, like he said, but we just got to, if we have any adversity, which we will, we just got to build off of that.
we have a great group of underclassmen and some extra juniors that give us great looks every day. They come in, they work their tails off. They shoot it really well. So we're adept at working against that. But we're not going to win a state championship in non-conference, and we understand that. So we get out here, we play these really tough opponents. It's setting us up for success in conference season. And our goal is a conference championship and eventually state championship. So by getting these tough opponents and seeing better people early, it's setting us up for success in conference and then hopefully state tournament.
Yeah, like Coach said, we are a day-by-day program, and taking those necessary steps to build us up for the conference season is competitive teams that we play in the non-conference season.
And that was kind of leading into my question, Coach P, is that with the XNA showcase that you guys have, what were some of the teams that you chose to pick and why?
Yeah, so again, I want to give you guys some credit for the matchup showcase where we get to play Marion, a really good basketball team. I've got a lot of respect for Sammy Lewis and his program and the things that he's building at Marion. But back to the showcase, we're kind of took your idea a little bit and brought it to Northwest Arkansas. Obviously, just with 8 teams and everybody just playing 2 games, and we'd like to expand this. But with this being the first year, we wanted to bring some of the best programs and players from the state of Arkansas. And then we wanted to pull some from the Missouri, Kansas City area for the most part. MICDS is from St. Louis. It's a private school that has some good players. We watched them play this summer at the live period event. And so we just reached out to different teams that we knew had, a lot of success. Oak Park out of the Kansas City area is coached by Sharon Collins, former KU starting point guard. I believe he's a national champion. They won the 6A state title last year in Kansas City and Missouri. And so we just wanted to pick great teams with great talent. And again, we want to be able to play teams that play fast. We want teams that play zone, non-conference, all the different things that we can see to get ourselves ready to win a conference championship. When it comes to those games, we'll release, later on the matchups, but it's going to be a fun environment, and we appreciate, Nigel and all you guys with the matchup showcase of kind of paving the way for another one of those in Arkansas.
Coach, just quickly, I know you have a great group of guys that's with you today. Is there any that you want to, showcase that's not here?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got 2 junior guards that are practicing really well for us right now. Lee Sean Gauchette and then Lucas Worth. Those 2 guys are competing hard every day. Early on we thought they were competing to see who was going to be the starting point guard, but we may start both of them. They're very good basketball players. They can shoot the basketball. They can handle the basketball. They're tough defensively. They're disciplined defensively. Lee Sean is one of the better natural leaders that I've ever been around. He's not afraid to get in people's face. He's not afraid to back down, make people back down. And so we really like those 2 guards and think they're going to be very successful for us. And then we've got 3 sophomores that we think are kind of hiding in the grass right now. And those 3 guys, we know are going to play early, and I think at least 2 of them are going to play all season long. And just 6'2", wiry athletes that look like, a typical Bentonville kid, shoot the 3 ball, going to be tough defender. And so we like those guys as well. But really proud of, like Quinn said, I'm proud of our entire group. Our scout group is giving us a look every day. It's been good. It's been good. We're ready to go to fall break here for a couple days. It's our fall break. We need a little reset, and then we've got 3 weeks until we get to play a benefit game against the Little Rock Central Tigers.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Bentonville Tigers. Thank you, Coach, for coming. Wish you all good luck for the season.
Hey, we appreciate you again, and Big Miller and all the things that you've done for him. Thank you guys so much for this opportunity and what this means to Arkansas high school basketball. It's continuing to grow, even in this room. The banners are bigger, the cameras are bigger, everything's getting bigger, and that's because of your guys' will to do this. So we thank you guys for sure.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Coach.
We've had enough of this nonsense.
Here we go.
Okay, up next we have the Fayetteville Bulldogs with head coach Brad Stamps leading the way. How you doing, Coach?
Doing well, Nigel. How are you?
Doing great, man. Appreciate you all coming down. Introduce yourself and introduce who you brought with you.
Yeah, Coach Brad Stamps, Fayetteville High School. Been doing this for a long time, a really long time. To my far right, we got senior Ben Rockwell. To my immediate right, got senior DJ Hudson. To my left, we got senior Hudson Garrett. To my far left, we got senior Charles Carey. I've got my other senior, Henry Sims. My two senior managers, Jackson Hill, Peyton Stout, assistant coach Spencer Brown here today.
Well, Coach, I know, like I start every session, let's talk about your goals and expectations for this team.
Yeah, at Fayetteville High School, expectations don't change. It's the same every year. We want to put ourselves in a position to compete for championships, and we know that that's difficult. We know that there's a lot of good teams, a lot of good talent across the state of Arkansas, especially in our league. There's some good teams, some well-coached teams, but the expectations don't change. They'll always stay the same, and that's to compete for championships.
Yeah, the 6A is a gauntlet, man. Over the past few years, talk about the mentality of this team. Is it where you want it right now, or are they working towards it?
We're growing to that. The mentality for us is to make sure that every single day that we're getting better, and for our off season has been changing our bodies and changing our conditioning and trying to get where we need to be there. Now this particular week, yesterday was our first day, our first official day, what we would call, and we're really trying to start installing our offense, our defense style of play. But the mentality for us, is just be the best version of yourself every single day we take the floor.
Considering the leaders that you lost last year until this year, talk about some of the guys that you're leaning on now for the leadership roles.
Yeah, we did. I mean, we graduated 9 seniors, and 7 of those are playing college basketball right now. And so, you lose that, and we miss that. But we've got some guys that, Ben Rockwell, a DJ Hudson, who had moved back, who had been with us and moved back into our program. DJ played on the biggest stage last year in a state championship game, and so that experience alone, puts him in a position to where, he comes back, the things he's saying and the things he's preaching, he's got credibility there, just his everyday presence. Our other guys that are up here with me and Henry, being seniors, the challenge to them is, to make sure that the group left us in a good spot. They left us in a good spot with the everyday things that, that build culture.
I thought that last year's group reset that in a way that we want these guys to take that torch and really pass it on to our younger guys, because we're going to play a lot of youth. We got a young team that's relatively inexperienced, and so we're going to rely on these guys leading every day in the right way.
Yeah, Coach, I had a chance to watch you at the Big Miller team camp. Guys seemed scrappy. The guys was very energetic. Talk about how that transition from the team camp. Well, I know DJ, you had hurt yourself during the team camp. Talk about where they was at the team camp compared to where you see them in practice now or doing some of the things now.
Yeah, team camp for us, our summers, are really. We don't install a lot of offense. We want to organically, especially a new style of play, okay? So last year's team, we tried to shoot as many threes as we could. Our goal was to shoot 30 and make 12 a game. This year, we've got size, with the guys sitting up here, but then we've got a 6'7" sophomore that played a lot this summer for us as well. We feel like, the style of play is a little different. So in the summer when we were playing at the Big Miller and different places, we were just trying to, organically work into the way we want to play and the style we want to play. And so for us right now, they've been hearing, let's pound the thing inside. And that can be a guard, that can be a big, but we really want to pound that thing to the block and try to get some paint points.
So, Ben, DJ, I heard Coach talk about the leadership roles. Just how the leadership roles is going with you guys and how you're implementing towards the rest of your team.
You got it. All right. Being the seniors on the team and like Coach Stamp said, everybody else is pretty fresh. We got a bunch of sophomores and juniors. So I feel like being the older guys on the team, we really got to step up and take a big leadership role and I guess kind of help show them the ropes a little bit.
More of what he said, just helping them out, more what he said.
Right on. So I heard Coach talking about the team from last year was a shooting team. You're talking about being more aggressive this year. Talk about the mentality and the aggressiveness in practice and the camaraderie in practice amongst you all.
Every practice is super physical. We got a team full of a bunch of competitive guys, and we got a lot more size this year than last year's team. They were a really good shooting team. That's what they put emphasis on. We're a pretty big team, so we're going to try to put a lot of emphasis in the paint. And, every practice is a war. Everybody's fighting for a spot. So, everything at the paint, you're going to get fouled, and you just got to finish it, be able to play through contact.
I feel like we have the biggest team in the conference, and so our main goal is just working on getting the ball in the paint and really just scoring in there.
I think we're a really physical team, and like Coach and they said, we are really big, so just work on keeping it in the paint.
Yeah, basically they said, good practices, good competitive practices, and throw the balls down to our big guys and let them go work and know they'll make the right decisions.
Yeah, you noticed Ben on the end, he said, practices, there's, a lot of physicality and play, and we've had to, because of the competitive nature, we've had to hire our two assistant coaches, Coach Brown and Coach McCullough, back home to wear whistles in practice because our guys like to, maybe talk a little bit afterwards and the competitive comes out. And so we're trying to keep it in the right way. Some of the things early were chippy, but now I think we're starting to figure out that, we can compete against each other every day, but as soon as that, whistle blows or practice is over, that, we're back to where we need to be. So that's a good thing to have to dial that down instead of trying to ramp them up to get to that level is a good thing, I believe.
Coach, is there a moment from last year that you can look back on and say, okay, my team was at this point and, there's some things that I could have done better or they could have done better that you don't plan on repeating this year?
I think as a coach, especially when you've been in it as long as I have, I think your reflection is always, you're your biggest critic. And so when I look at, from the start of season last year till the end, there were lots of things that could have changed personally, maybe the way we handled some things and those type of things. But we really talked about that group in a positive way of kind of resetting where we needed to be successful. And success doesn't necessarily mean winning games. It means how your approach is every day. Or is the locker room clean when we walk in? Is the bus ride home, are we cleaning the bus before we get off the bus? Are we picking up cups off the bench after our game? Are we doing the little things that make a big difference? And so I felt like, for that, it was success. When I say, passing the torch on, these guys have got to carry that, because that group did such a great job of really monitoring those things and taking care of things that we didn't have to as coaches. When you get a team that's bought into those things, it makes your job a lot easier, a lot more enjoyable, where you're not beating your head against the wall saying, I could have done this. Instead, it's just a collective responsibility among all of us to make sure we're doing the right thing.
So on a personal level, what's something that basketball has taught you all compared to on the court and off the court? How do you implement it in your life?
Basketball's just taught me to be a hard worker throughout my whole life. So I've really done, you got to put in extra hours if you want to be at the top. So I just use that for school. I always try to challenge myself with harder classes. So I just took that lesson for basketball, put in extra hours, got to study a lot. Yeah.
It's personally helped me just learn how to work on my own. No one's gonna hold my hand during this. I just have to be perseverant and just come ready to work every day.
Yeah, I think basketball has helped me just come closer with people and learn how to work.
Yeah, it's taught me how to be a better leader and how I can communicate with people better and to where they don't take it personally.
Coach, let's talk about the fan base and the community of Fayetteville and how they rally around you guys, and just talk about how important it is for the support.
Well, it's, being a former Purple Dog and growing up in Fayetteville and then getting to play at your, at Fayetteville High School, and then, having assistant coaches that also played at Fayetteville High School that wore that purple jersey. We grew up in it, and, we call it Purple Pride, and it really is. It's a prideful thing when you grow up in a community and then you see people that I played in front of when I was a player that, they're older now, but they still come to games and they still are curious, and and we try to tell our guys every day it means something. It's people are passionate about athletics in Fayetteville, and that's a good thing. And so we just hosted our big fundraiser last Friday, which was a golf tournament we do every year. And that thing continues to grow because people genuinely want to support. All the proceeds go to this team. And so they genuinely come out, they support us. We like to take our guys to different places. We went to Florida, Pensacola Beach last year over Christmas and played in a basketball tournament and got to do some fun things. And so, they support us, but they also have an expectation that, they're not going to come out and watch a group of individuals that are a group of individuals. They're going to come watch a group that really buys into the philosophy of, we're one community and we're one high school, and they want to come watch that and support that if the product's good and we're doing the right thing and leading the right way.
Well, Coach, that concludes our interview. We appreciate you guys for coming down, being able to show us some love, and we love that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and really appreciate, that I think Coach Pennington said it earlier, but I'll second that, Big Kevin was a big part of the state. Yeah. You guys have done a really good job. All of you have really, valuing what that meant, his legacy, and really having events. We're looking forward to coming down to the matchup. It's coming up quick, but we're looking forward to that and getting back to the central part of Arkansas and being a part of what you guys do. So thank you very much for all of that.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you.
You bet.
All right, we're up next with the Heber Springs Panthers, Coach Spencer Gay. Coach, would you just lead us off, introduce the four ladies you brought with us, and tell us a little bit about them.
Well, I brought four seniors with me today. The first one is Bailey Burris, 5'9" wing over here. Ella Williams, 5'10" post kid, senior, been with me since 8th grade. Maya Foster, been with me since 8th grade as well, starting point guard, 5'8"-ish. She'll lie and tell you she's about 5'6", but she plays bigger than she is. And then Ada Choate, senior. I think you think she's been playing with me for about 6 years now, but been playing since 8th grade. Shooter, she kind of does everything for us. She's really bought in defensively, trying to improve her game. Really hungry senior here. So 4 groups of seniors. I've also got Emma Moorhead over here. She came with us today, another senior, so a little senior heavy.
Well, you led into my next question, Coach, because, Ada, when Coach Gay texted me who he was bringing, I went, Ada Choate, what did she get, like a free COVID year or something? She's been shooting threes for you for like 8 years now. You're now a senior, all of you guys are, so I'd like to hear from all of you. We can start down here, but, you've all had a lot of playing time, whether at Heber or somewhere else. But now you're seniors. That's a different role, right? So not just on the court, but off the court as well. Talk about each one of you guys, how you've embraced that role moving into this year.
Well, I think being a senior, obviously, you're the main example. And I think this year we all had to take on a big leadership role. And that's what we're just trying to show those younger, because we have a lot of younger people that have moved up. And that's what we're just trying to show them. Leadership, and it's our senior year, so we're all going to give it our all, work our hardest, and just overall try our best.
Yes, like what Ada said, leadership is big, but also communication. So in the past, seniors, they're really good at communicating, but now we have to step into the role of communication and just communicate with the whole team effectively.
I agree with both of them. I think they pretty much summed it up, but we have a lot of newer kids and younger kids, so making sure that they feel comfortable in their roles on our team, as well as communicating with them with everything and how our program plays.
Yeah, I agree. I would just say stepping into the role as leaders and setting an example for the younger ones.
And Coach, you got a senior-laden team. Conference you guys play in, it seems like every team got better in the conference. There's no real cupcakes at all in the conference anymore. Kind of walk through your scheduling your non-conference and maybe some of the showcases or tournaments that you sign your team up for to get ready for that conference, which is going to be a lot better, but not just that, but also regionals and hopefully a state tournament run.
We have a good little group of our sophomores that will be able to score a little bit for us, and so with that, in addition to these seniors that we have, I think it's going to be a great year, and we did amp up that non-conference schedule a little bit. We still have Westside Greers Ferry, who's still on the schedule. Cutter Morning Stars should be like a Final Four team in that 2A division, so snag them as well. The Classics we got coming up, we're going to play in the Mount St. Mary tournament. The field there is pretty athletic. West Memphis is in there. Going to go down to PA and play in that Classic there. I think we play Whitehall and Camden in that one. Added a non-conference of Nettleton and Jasper. We're going to go up to Valley Springs, play Jasper. They've been competitively really good in 1A last couple of years, so we're going to play them as well. And then there's one more, our Classic. We're going to play Bergman in there. So Melbourne's on the schedule. We're going to play Lamar at CBC. I know that they're rebuilding, but Sluderman does a great job down there. So we beefed it up a little bit. We got to find a way to compete and get ready. I got to find out who can be battle tested. So when our conference comes along, like you said, there are no cupcakes. So got to know who we can go to battle with.
Well, and you said it. You said you got some younger girls that you're going to mix in and play, and you got to know who you can go to battle with. Who are some of those players that didn't come with you today that you are going to be leaning on in addition to your seniors?
Last year in junior high, our leading scorer was Leah Monk. She's about a 5'5" athlete. Just kind of does it all. Grinder. She's one of the hardest nuts for me that I've ever had to crack. You never tell what she's thinking. Like, she made a 3, buzzer beater, game-winning shot. Her face looks the same as if she's just on the end line to run. And so it's always interesting to see what she thinks. I'm just curious, are you even with us today? And she'll be like, oh, yes, sir, I'm there. And we also have Annalise, last year's starting point guard, coming up out of junior high. She's crafty. Energy Bug, she just finished her first round, got beat out first round of the state tennis meet. Did fantastic. I was really proud of her. And then we had to move in Riley Ferris from Pangburn, who can score it at a high level, likes to shoot it. She's really the piece that I thought the squad was missing. She's a kid that she's okay taking 5 shots down the floor. She wants to score it every time. And that allows, she's probably going to be, I would say, being an attention hog maybe a little bit. And so that allows some of these other ones who were, Ada Cho probably saw the best defender on the floor last year. Now she's probably going to get a second or third option of a defender on her, and that allows her to open her game up a little bit better.
And kind of question for the girls. Moving from last year to this year, and this is not necessarily to give somebody bulletin board material, but what's the game that you guys are looking forward to playing the most? Whether it may be a game that slipped away last year that you thought you should have won, or maybe that game against that team where you know a lot of girls on that team and it's just really fun to play against them. Do you have a certain game that you're ready to play again this year, and why?
So I'm really ready to play PA, very challenging team, and I think this year we really have a whole new squad. Like, we had a good run last year, but we're gonna have a great run this year, and so I think we're gonna be able to compete against PA a lot better. It'll be a good game.
I also think PA, but I also think Morrilton, because there's a lot of moments in Morrilton with this squad this year we could have done better than last year, so I'm ready for another chance against them as well.
I agree with both of them, but my favorite is always Clayton, just because they're a close rival game. They're always my favorite game to play.
I'll say Westside because I know some of the girls, and I think we can match up with them very well. They beat us last year, but I think it would be a good game.
All right, another question for the girls. I want to hear your best or your funniest Coach Gay story. All right.
No, you don't.
Now we're not trying to get somebody fired here, but I want to hear that great funny story about Coach Gay.
I think the funniest story is his first year here. Just he's getting to know me, I'm getting to know him, and he looked at me and said, "I don't want to play you, but I have to." So I continued to play the game, but not because he wanted me to, but because I had to.
My funniest story is probably when there was one day that he was very frustrated at us, and he attempted to punt a basketball, but he missed it. So he kicked and whiffed, and it was very hard not to laugh, but we didn't laugh because it would have been bad. But yeah.
My favorite moment is probably one of the first home games his first year. He got so upset he decided to jump with a chair and broke it. Or not broke it, but folded it and fell on your butt on the floor in the middle of a game.
I wasn't here to witness this, but I've heard many stories about this.
That means it's a lie.
He apparently hurt his back in one of the games and was on the ground, crawling around, coaching.
It's not a lie, I swear.
Yeah, it's not a lie. It's true.
It's true.
You know how it is. The stories over the years just amplify. None of them, it was never any of that bad. Any of that.
All right, Coach. So what do you need to see this team do to gel and come together throughout the season, right? I heard a player say, and it was a great line, I can't remember who it was, just about an hour ago, he said, state championships aren't won during your, early non-conference games. So you schedule that schedule to get ready for conference and regional and state. But what do you really need to see this team gel and come together so you can make a run?
I would say the first thing is got to get everybody in a gym. We still have some that are still playing volleyball. Ella's a big piece of the volleyball program, and so getting her back will definitely help so we can work on our chemistry. I'm still curious, down the stretch, game on the line, there's days that our man defense looks good. There's days that zone defense looks good. I got to know when my back's against the wall what kids we're going to battle with, how we're going to win with those kids, and when it comes down to net cutting time, what are we running? Give me that one last offense that can get us there, put us over the line. Give me that one defense that can get the stop when you need it. So, and those are the things I'm kind of focusing on right now. When Ella gets back, it'll be a little easier. we got a lot of tweeners, Bailey, Ada, Maya, Leah, Ferris. They can all run multiple spots. And what this one here does for us is anchors our rim protection down. And now that moves some other pieces around the board that I can be very versatile with. So,
Coach, describe this team in one word.
I would say just tough. And if I had to take one, like another one, it'd be just relentless. They can bring it. When they want to and the tip goes up, they want to get after it, there's trouble in the water. I'm thinking in practice, I might just start playing that Jaws music, you know what I'm saying? Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Well, see, that was my next question, and it's to the girls. This is the last question, actually. Just your pre-game ritual. What is that you do to get you going? What is it? Some music? Is it something that you like to do? What is it?
So away games, yes, we always listen to music on the bus. It's always fun, but then towards the end we get serious, look at our scouting reports, get ready. And then a big thing is praying. We always pray and just hope for no injuries and just wish everybody the best in the game.
Yes, we definitely get hyped before games, so like listening to music or just in the huddle before we go to the bench before the game, we always have like a pep talk from one of the seniors like last year. This year it will be one of us giving a pep talk, and we'll say a quick prayer, and that just gets us ready for the game.
I agree with both of them. A big part of my pregame ritual is definitely praying, because as a pastor's kid, I'm always praying, and I always listen to music before games.
Yeah, music definitely helps, and then also giving like the pep talk also always gets us ready for the game.
Is that my pep talk or y'all's pep talk?
Our pep talk.
Coach, what's yours?
I pray. I go to the door. The first thing I do is go to the door. After the girls get in there, I put my hand on the door and I.
All right, we're back with the Lake Hamilton Lady Wolves. Coach, would you just take a few minutes, introduce yourself, introduce each of the ladies you brought, and just tell us a little bit something about them?
You bet. So my name is Blake Conley, senior girls coach at Lake Hamilton. starting in on year 13 as the senior girls coach at Lake Hamilton. Over to my right, we've got Desire Christian. We've got Sanaya Cook, Amaya Easter, Haley Ferguson. All four of these young ladies are seniors. We have relied on them heavily, for the last 2 years, and we'll be relying on them a lot going into their senior year. So.
And Coach, you guys had a great season last year. Won the conference, had a great run, ran into a one of the best players in the state, who's no longer there at Valley View now. But talk to us about now that you have this core group with you of seniors. How have you been preparing this team to make another run like that? Not just individual players, but also your non-conference schedule, how you schedule that to prepare yourself to make that, that run in regional and state.
Yeah. We actually, last year, for the first time in a few years, we ended up finishing second in the conference. And so that, I think that is a motivating factor for the girls going into this season. It's just to get ourselves back, into that spot. I mean, every coach that stands here is going to say, "Hey, we want to win the championship. We want to win every game that we go out there and play." And so we just trying to, keep that at the forefront of our mind, but knowing there's not anything we can do about December and January and February right now. Like, we've got to worry about just going in every day. And so the thing that I think is going to be interesting for us this year is taking our sophomores and getting our chemistry right with the seniors. That's one of the things, and we talked about it on the way up here. Our practices are really competitive right now. We have, we've got a good group of juniors and then a good group of sophomores that we've blended in. And I'll say, like, this is one of the first times I've had a team that we can sub like any girl on the squad into a scrimmage and practice, and there's not a huge drop off. There's not a girl that we're like, ooh, I don't know about rotating her in. Let's keep her out because it's not as competitive when we get them in. And that's like I said, the girls were even talking about that on the way up here. There's a high level of competition and intensity in practice, which to me, that's your best teams. That's when you're going to have your best years, is when your practices are really competitive. And you asked about the non-conference. We try to load it up as best we can. Our classic early, we've got Searcy, Greenwood, Nashville that are coming to our place. And you guys know those teams are, every year Greenwood and Nashville are in the conversations to be, playing at Hot Springs. And we're going to make a trip to Paragould for a classic up there. We're going to Cabot, playing the tournament over there. I think we're matched up playing, with Cabot. We play Marion at the Cabot tournament as well. And then over the Christmas break, we've got Magnolia coming to our place for a classic, and then Dirks, which is small school, but they're expecting to be really good. Their coach was wanting to beat their schedule up, so we'll end up playing them. Anyway, we tried non-conference wise to schedule it. We have an open date, I think in February. We got Conway on the schedule. I called and talked with Coach Hutchcraft over at Conway, and they're all they're always in the conversation to win at the highest level in that largest classification. For us to compete how we want to compete, well, we got to be able to compete and beat the best teams. We're not interested in playing the teams that aren't good. We're wanting to schedule and play the best, and just to use that as a measuring stick to see where we're at. So
just piggybacking off what Coach said, talking about that practice, talking about how competitive it is. Talk about amongst you all just how, with it being competitive, how it's setting up your mindset coming into this season. Starting with you, Christian.
I think that that practice is like how hard we practice is going to translate into the game. Like our practices are going to be harder than how we play.
Same thing that she said. I feel like that's really going to help us going into the games, especially with us having like more competition in practice. It's definitely a lot challenging more because I know in the past, like me and Desire were always having to guard like one another. There's not really any more bigs or size. I'm definitely getting a run for my money, like with rebounds and stuff like that, with like Maylee and Grayson coming up. So yeah.
Yeah, what they said in practice with us being so competitive, we can bring it onto the court and carry it on just like that.
Every day in practice, we come to work and we're very competitive. We're playing like full court defense every day, and it's helping me because I'm having to guard Maya. She's super fast, so.
Any personal goals amongst you all, as far as the off-season, preseason workouts, things you've been working on to help you with this season?
Right now I am in volleyball, but my main like factor getting back is like making sure I get back in the groove of like how I am whenever season starts and getting on the same level as my teammates with me going on such like a big break between volleyball and basketball.
I was going to ask for Miss Christian and Miss Easter. I know you guys have older brothers or brothers that play the game as well. So how's that sibling rivalry or how's that competitiveness?
I think my brother's scared to play me. He don't ever want to play. He's scared.
No, I don't. Yeah. What?
Oh, never mind.
I don't have an older brother.
She doesn't have an older brother.
Yeah, you good. Coach, you talked about you're really deep and you're bringing some younger kids along. Tell us about some of those kids that you're talking about. You know, who else are you going to be leaning on that isn't here today?
Yeah, and honestly, I don't feel like I'm exaggerating when I say, you know, they're all the girls in practice, like we're competing for playing time right now. I mean, and those younger girls are coming and doing it. But you know, Sanaya mentioned the competitiveness with like rebounding and having battles, and we've got Maylee Robinson, and the comparison's always going to be there. You know, her older brother played for our boys a few years ago, and he'll be playing at UCA this next year. You know, we're expecting big things from Maylee as far as, you know, helping with the rebounding, but also being able to score it, you know, and take some of the scoring load off of, you know, some of the other girls. One of the things I've been pleased with is it's kind of freed Desire up to be more of a playmaker. I mean, she's setting teammates up, and she's not feeling like she has to score it because we have some other, you know, more other options for her to get it to. You know, Sanaya mentioned Grayson Hurley, another sophomore who she was slowed a little bit because she had a knee injury in 8th grade. She wasn't really back to full speed last year, but she's out of her brace, and she's coming on. She's working at it really well. That's a couple of sophomores, you know, that we know we're going to rely on. In our junior class, though, we've got Addie Wilkerson and Sophie Puckett, a couple of guards who they kind of rotated in the starting lineup last year. Addie is still in volleyball with Sanaya right now. We'll be excited, you know, to get both of them back when they come. And then Sophie she's just a competitor. I mean, she understands the game. She's got a high IQ, and she just makes good decisions. And then Sarah Landrum is another junior who. Sarah just makes everything better. You know, coaches are going to know that those players and those kids that just, you want them in your program. Like everybody on the team loves them. It's just, you notice them when they're not at practice because there's just not as much energy. There's just not, and that Sarah brings that for us. And then Jamie Palmer, Zoe Pennington, you know, another familiar name that everybody knows with Coach Pennington over on the boys side. But with that group, we've got quite a few coaches' kids in there, so, they spend a lot of time in the gym working on their game.
So that Lake Hamilton, that Lakeside, that Hot Springs rivalry, talk about how important is it for Lake Hamilton? I asked Coach P that earlier, so I'm curious on what your take is. How important is it for the fan base to support you all through all that?
Oh, I mean, listen, if you talk to folks that are like Lake Hamilton through and through, you probably could just win one game a year or 2 games a year and they'd be fine. Like you need to win those games against them. To me, though, the added incentive or the added intensity, Lakeside girls, they're pretty good. Coach Williams is doing a great job, and so it just makes for a better rivalry when you're going back and forth. They got great players over there. Coach Williams does a great job, and I think our girls will want to be able to compete and be able to win that game. Yes, because the community, the Lake Hamilton, Lakeside, aspect, but also I think just for our girls, just the pride aspect of just wanting to win, and when you're close in town, the kids, it just gets amped up a little bit more when you play them.
Well, there you go, Lake Hamilton. Coach spoke on it, so show up and show out for the Lake Hamilton Lady Wolves.
Got it, man. We appreciate y'all having us.
Thanks.
For sure. Thanks, guys.
Y'all have a good one. Good luck to you.
Sylvan Hills. Sylvan Hills, you're on the clock. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Coach, and then tell me who you brought with you today.
Yeah, Josh Hill. This is my second year as Sylvan Hills varsity head coach, 25th year in coaching. Got JJ Wise with us. JJ will be a 3-year starter as a junior, as he started his 9th grade year. JJ shot 43% from 3 for the season last year, which I'd put that probably up with anybody. He can really shoot the ball. Darius Folks. Darius will be a 4-year starter for us. He started every year since 9th grade too. Really good defender on the ball, strong, physical, tough guy, one of our leaders for sure. We've got Jalen Briscoe here. Jalen's been in the program all the way through. Jalen's a senior for us. Can really shoot the ball. Actually, we tested verticals this week. Jalen won that. Jalen's got a 39-inch vertical, so super athletic guy. Ethan Jones. Ethan's a senior. He started 2 years in this league too. A lot of experience. We look to him for a lot of leadership. He's kind of going to be probably a defensive anchor for us, a guy that can guard multiple spots on the floor.
Coach, considering the talent you have, you bring him back. Talk about the biggest challenge that you see with this team and how you plan on overcoming it.
Yeah, right. So right now the challenge for us as a coaching staff is trying to mix guys in. We've got a really, really talented sophomore group, and the other issue we're going to run into, probably more so than any of the big schools, is 3 of our top 9 players that are for sure rotation guys are out on the football field right now. So it's going to be a little probably hit and miss early in the season, and we expect to, peak later in the year. But like I said, we're leaning on a couple of guys, really good guys here that have a lot of experience in this league.
Coach, had a chance to see y'all down in Greene County Tech, and y'all had a good run, so to speak. So how you plan on getting over the hump this year, or do you see any chance that you can peak early or in the later part?
Yeah, so we definitely didn't peak early last year. We played a really, really tough non-conference schedule and took it on the chin quite a bit early. As a matter of fact, I don't know that we were over 500 till January, but as a coach, especially somebody like me that's been doing it for so long, I don't mind that. As long as we're playing really good in January and February, I think we finished going 11-2 our last 13 games. So we definitely feel like we laid a foundation last year in the first year for me, and I think we can build on it, absolutely.
Yeah, so this to the players. Talk about JJ, Darius. Talk about how that moment last year has shaped your mindset this year coming to this season.
Right. So we started off really slow going into it, and I think that now as we're going through practice, we're trying not to start off slow like we did, because we dug ourselves a hole and we had to dig ourselves out. But just going from the very bottom to the very top, that shows us that we just got to stay consistent, that no matter what happens, that we just keep working and it'll all pay off.
I personally feel like it's going to be a lot different this year. I feel like we're going to be strong all throughout the season. Because practicing is way more aggressive. So I feel like once we get on the court, that aggression is just going to overpower everybody else.
I would just like to say mentality-wise, I feel like it's way more mature than it has been. The culture is changing, and you can just feel the shift every day at practice.
I wasn't there last year, but taking from what I seen from them last year, just playing against them, even at practice when we're all going against each other with the sophomores, it's just everybody's being physical. We're all taking bumps and getting ready for it. When we play different teams, that's going to be way more physical than with us. So
adding to the culture aspect for them, just to brag on them and say how proud of. So Monday was senior skip day at Sylvan Hills. I didn't say anything to those guys. All of them showed up knowing that we didn't have the gym or anything. We were going to run and lift weights. And all 4 of our seniors were back there without me saying a word. I didn't tell them you have to be here or anything. They all left and made sure they were back on time for practice. So I'm real happy with the way, the preseason's gone. We've been outstanding in the weight room. I was watching last year's and actually said we were good in the weight room, and we are on a whole nother level this year in the weight room.
Coach, I'm not sure if a lot of people realize this or not, but you were the middle school coach before as the head coach in varsity, right? So you saw a lot of these kids that have come up, right? Over the last probably, 10 years or whatever, there's been so much talent that has maybe started at Sylvan Hills and then left for whatever reason. You have a year in your belt now as the head coach. How do you plan on changing that and maybe keeping them kids home instead of going elsewhere?
Yeah, well, we're going to do the best we can on that. A little bit nowadays, kids just think it's cool to move, no matter what you're doing or whatever. So we're going to give them as much exposure as we can and try to put as good a product on the floor as we can. And, to me, that's our side of it. We show the kids we care about them, and we're going to do anything we can for them. And then after that, kind of the ball's in their court. We're not going to beg people to stay or anything like that. That's not going to happen. So we've got a really, really good group. like I said, our 10th grade group, all of them stayed. The 10th grade group's really deep. It's got a chance to be a special class too, and then we've got great leadership in the older grades.
Coach, I know you guys got a bunch of younger players that are kind of coming up that are underclassmen. Can you talk about some of those guys that you want to showcase or spotlight?
Yeah. So we've got good size. I don't know how much they're going to play yet. That's something we're trying to figure out because there's about 5 or 6 of them that could play varsity minutes for us. Let's see. Chance Smith's a good one. Aiden Burrell is a 6'4" kid that can really play. Javion Hurd's a 6'4", 230-pound kid that can play. We've got a 6'6" kid out playing receiver in football right now. Summons is the senior. We've got basically our 3 defensive ends are all my centers in basketball. So we will have no centers until football's over with. But Jed, we have a kid named Jed on our team, great shooter. He's kind of follows JJ around everywhere. He's our 10th grade JJ, I think. So we'll try to keep one in each grade, I guess. So.
Okay, just to the players, talk about some of the things that you've seen with this team, and talk about how that one thing could help push y'all to that next level.
Last year, I think that we struggled a lot with leadership early, and now something that Coach Hill and Coach Oberts brought to us, we meet as seniors and we meet in his office, and we go over some scenarios that might happen in practice, and we'll go over what we can do to help that. And that's also just about like what J-Lo said, that we're just trying to build the culture up. We're just trying to get leaders. We're trying to do stuff besides basketball. We're trying to get together in groups out of school and hang out during the locker room or after practice just to get the culture better.
Yeah, I agree with what JJ said. I was going to talk about how we're like way more close as a team than we were last year. And like during practices, it's more accountability like between the players. Like last year, if you told somebody to do something, it could like cause commotion. This year, everybody listened to each other and we just go from there.
Everybody's so hungry, like especially the younger class. Like it's so beautiful to see. Like the sophomores remind me of like D-Rod and JJ and me coming up, and it's just like they work out, you don't gotta tell them. They after practice, you don't gotta tell them. They 6 a.m. in the morning, you don't have to tell them, and it's just like they want it so much, and it's a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, just to piggyback off what they said, I mean, everyone's hungry, ready to go. I mean, we feel like can compete with anybody, even with our younger groups, even with us coming out of the game, we all feel like we're just right there with each other. So I think we're all just closer together.
So just hearing what Coach said, that it was senior skip day and you all still showed up to get better, to put in that work. I think from hearing what you're just saying, the younger group are seeing what your guys doing and they're emulating. So you think your leadership plays a big part, and if that leadership is a big part, talk about where did that come from?
I mean, for sure. The leadership is a big part of it. I mean, we have sophomores that look up to us, and we know that. Like, we're not going to brush it off and think that they know that they look up to us, and we look up to them sometimes too. There's stuff that we have to learn from them, and I think that's a big thing, that sophomores look up to seniors and juniors look up to seniors, and sometimes seniors and juniors look up to sophomores. And especially he was talking about Jed. Jed is a hard worker. He's under the radar, don't have a phone, doesn't have any social medias, doesn't have a reason to work, but he does. He puts his head down. That's something I definitely look up to. And I think how we get that is definitely from the coaches. The coaches show us a lot how we can be leaders, and not only on the basketball court. Like, if we're outside running, like, they're clapping us up. They're like, all right, do y'all want to get better? Do y'all want to get better? Like, it's a mental thing, and I definitely give that to the coaches.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's pretty much the coaches planting seeds in our head to lead. Like, Coach Hill, Coach Oberts, they, like, told us for, like, the longest, however we act in practice, like, the younger guys act the same. And I really ain't believe it at first. But then I say it was probably like a week. I was in there, I was just angry, and you could see everybody emotions just following after me. So then, yeah, I felt like these guys got real wise words.
For sure.
So that, as a coach, you like to hear, sometimes you don't know if message is getting home, but everything you're describing is basically building culture is what's going on. Super proud of these guys. Like I said, great senior group. JJ might as well be. He's a 3-year starter already. Keenan Morris was a kid I didn't mention, senior for us. He's got a torn labrum in his shoulder. He's almost back now, though. He's a 6'7" high jumper. He was our 6'4" man last year. Got a chance to be a good player too, but I'm really proud of the work these guys have put in so far this fall.
Hillside. All right, Coach. We appreciate you all coming out, giving us the opportunity. Appreciate you and wish you good well.
Thank you.
Okay, up next we have the Farmington High School basketball team, the Cardinals, with head coach Johnny Taylor leading the way. How you doing, Coach?
Doing great, man. Thanks for having us.
Hey, man, no problem, Coach. Introduce yourself and tell us who you brought with you.
Okay, Johnny Taylor, this is my 26th year in coaching. I'm going to go over a little bit of a little summary of our last 5 years in our program. In the past 5 seasons, we have a record of 149-19. We've made 5 straight state tournaments. Last year, this group went 25-7, 11-3 in conference, and we're 5A West Conference runner-ups. We're eliminated in the first round, but have 3 guys returning that gained a ton of experience and got minutes. One thing that's unique about this group, this will be the first opportunity that we have to be 5A West Conference champions in the history of the school. So that's also unique. Another stat that I love talking about, with this group, when we graduate, we will have 12 players go on to play at the next level. That'll tie the previous record before I got to Farmington 5 years ago. We have 12 in the history of the school, so that we'll have 24 guys after this year on that list that have went on to pursue college basketball. I think our major separator this year is our size, length, and obviously we have a great skill set. We feel like we're one of the teams, one of the few elite teams that have an opportunity to talk about competing and playing for a state championship. Our starting point guard, Eli Schwartzman, 2-year starter. He was all conference, all state. He was all state tournament team. Last year, Eli averaged 8.4 points per game, led our team in assists at 6.7 per game, and averaged 4 rebounds a game. Ethan Kennedy. Ethan is a 6'6" senior. He was all conference. He was actually all state as a 6th man, which if coach would know, when you go to those conference coaches meeting, all you can do is nominate a player. For him to get selected, that tells you what the coaches in our league think about him. He averaged 10.5 points a game, shot 52% from the field, 6 rebounds a game, and shot 71% from the foul line. And then Press Taylor, Press, a 5'11 sophomore. He'll be a 2-year starter. He was 5A West All Conference. He averaged 12 a game, shot 81.5%, led us in free throws, and also charge attempts. And then Cole Wentz will be new to our starting lineup. Cole's 6'4", but he has a 6'8" wingspan. He started last year for us in JV, has just put in the time to get better, and is absolute dead three. I think on everybody's scouting report, Cole will be considered a dead three. And then we actually brought Carson Simpson. Carson is 6'7". His reach is unbelievable. He started last year for us out of necessity as our JV starting point guard, just because we had lack of ball handling. That's going to benefit us greatly because he's the third handler for us. So it gives us an opportunity to put length out there if we see any kind of trap or anything like that.
Wow, it's impressive. I mean, I just want to piggyback off those accolades right there, considering what Coach just explained, just the history. Is there any pressure on you guys to emulate that or to live up to that standard, or is it something that's natural for you guys?
Well, at Farmington, we like to say pressure is a privilege, so we're very blessed to be expected to be as good as we are.
Yeah, pressure is a privilege for us. Just getting to have that pressure, it's a great thing to have. The work we put in, that pressure it's not gifted. It's not given to everybody. So we like to say pressure is a privilege.
Yeah, like what they said, how pressure is a privilege. We like to play like that and like to have that mentality, and like how every game we have to play to that standard, and it's how we do that, and that's like what they said. Pressure is privilege.
Yeah, it shows that we work really hard and that we earn something. Pressure is definitely a privilege for us.
So I had a chance to watch you all at the Big Miller Teen Camp, and I must say, you guys play with a lot of energy, a lot of tenacity, a lot of toughness. And where do that come from?
I would definitely say practice, our preparation, and then the toughness. I think this team, very tough group of guys, very committed to each other. So we know, like, if one of us isn't going to go out there and give our all, none of us are. So I would definitely say that toughness comes from us being as committed as we are to each other.
Yeah, I said we all lean on each other. We have a great group of guys who fight hard together, and we know that if one of us is lacking, that the next guy behind us is going to pick us up. And through every practice, we don't call fouls, we don't complain, we don't whine. We fight through everything, and we know that. So even if we get fouled hard at practice, we're gonna go down and shake the next guy's hand and just keep playing hard.
Yeah, we practice every day, and we're always practicing. We're always going at each other, so we're with each other all the time. And we know what helps us grow and like what gets us going. So since we're with each other all the time, we'll help to get each other getting better, and that's where I think our toughness comes from, practicing every day.
Yeah, like they said, our practices are really, really physical. We hold each other accountable. There's diving on the floor, taking charges in practice, just really, really rough.
Coach, I hear them talking about being committed to one another and, just making the practices as tough. So talk about, is this team where you want them right now, or do you see where there's more growth at this point?
We typically are ahead of schedule. I think if you play us early, most coaches will say they believe in burnout. I don't believe in burnout. I think you either love the game and you want to get better and you're committed to getting better, or you don't. So a lot of coaches will blame, we want to let the summer, we don't have stuff in the summer. Well, why? We practice. We have a period every day. Why don't you have your stuff in? So for us, that's one of the things for us. Our preparation is a separator, and then our guys, the toughness comes from every single day. It's a grind, and we've had kids that have not wanted to stay and be a part of that. They don't want to compete, and I understand that, and it's not for everyone. But the guys that I've got here with me, and then we've got so much size coming off the bench. I want to mention Roman Simpson, Carson's brother. If you remember Mason started for us on our state finals team. Both of those guys, Roman is 6'6", Jackson Marshall 6'5", and Brandon Bryce 6'5". All three of those guys are willing to rebound, defend, and do things that maybe don't show up in the stats. So for us, we track and chart every extra effort play in practice, every rebound in practice, every shot charted. So at the end of the day, everything is a competition. So, and then everything is a live rep. So, we believe we're going to go bone on bone, not bone on cone. So, not a lot of cone drills.
Coach, you kind of, I was about to say famously, that's probably not the right word, but you're known for you'll play anybody, anytime, doesn't really matter. Let's play early, whatever, doesn't really matter. You've always played in the matchup showcase ever since day one. I feel like it's something that you really love to come down to Central Arkansas and bring your guys and just match us up against whoever you want to. We want that. I feel like that was, we had heard about Lane Taylor early on from Kevin Miller, right? Before many people had heard about him, but I feel like that was, Lane's really statewide coming out party was the matchup showcase. But talk about that and just talk about how you're not afraid to play anybody anywhere and match us up with anybody anytime.
Well, for us, you're not going to get better. I get a kick out of every year we'll go to a team camp and I'll have the head coach of the college come up and say, hey, this coach said he doesn't want to play you. Or this coach, do you know why they don't want to play you? And I'll say, well, because we have stuff in. We try to schedule our summer where we don't win a game. And then we say, hey, at the end of the day, they're not going to put our summer schedule or our losses in the paper to where we're prepped and prepared. And then for us, everything is evaluation, but it's through our system. So does the system that we've implemented in the spring, we go play in the summer, does it fit our team? And is it going to give us the best opportunity to win whenever it matters? And I thought that's where last year we struggled. We lost 2 games to end the season. When we were at our best, we actually had a side cleared, and when we were able to get easy shots, so for us, we tried a lot of that in the summer to see what works and what's going to stick. And then ultimately, the playing anybody, it's hard for us to make a schedule because our girls are so good. So when you get to a place like Farmington where you're good at everything, you may find a boys team that wants to play a game, but their girls don't want any part of our girls, or vice versa. So I think we open the season at Valley Springs, and for us, that'll be the only time our girls and us get to play together in front of any of our fans until conference play. And it's that way every year. So yeah, will we play anybody? We would love to play anybody that would play us. We would love to play schools that are close to us, but we can't get them on the schedule. Some that are just right down the road, we would play every year, a home and away, if they would play us.
Coach, I was going to say, you talked about having 12 guys from this group that would be able to go on to the next level. Can you speak on how important that is for these kids and for the state of Arkansas and basketball as a whole?
Well, I've coached at a ton of different places and it's hard to get kids to go play anywhere. It's hard to get them on a roster, especially since the fact that they're fixing to do a 5th year in college basketball because of the way they've implemented the junior college rules. So for us, it's a big deal if you play college basketball anywhere. And I think kids now, people are so infatuated with Division I, but if you look at the Division IIs in our state and how good they are, and then even our Division III schools, a Hendrix College, I'm a D3 guy. You have to love basketball and love the game to go on to play at the next level. So for us, what that tells us is, yeah, everything we're doing is hard, and practicing every day, lifting weights every single day, that's difficult. But at the end of the day, it's also very rewarding. So when you have an opportunity to go on and play, it's not going to be easy. When you get to college, your coach is going to challenge you. He's going to hold you accountable. He's going to push you. So at the end of the day, what we are trying to do is prepare them for not just college basketball, but for life.
Okay, Coach. So I heard you talking about the non-conference schedule and being prepared. Last year, you had that final push. Is there something in that game that you can hang your hat on and say, this is not going to happen again? What was that one thing?
Well, for us, I went in after that game and I told our kids, I said, obviously this is on me because I let things slide. And we have standards, and our kids understand their standards. Our last conference game last year, we had 2 guys not wear travel gear, and somehow they made it on the bus. And that is a standard at Farmington that you're going to wear, just like we're wearing Farmington gear today. You're going to wear something that says Farmington basketball. I don't care if you match head to toe, but you're going to wear the team-issued gear. We knew when that happened at Van Buren that the slippage had came in, allowing guys to, at times, to maybe show up a little bit later than they should. We haven't had any of that this year. But once again, that's my fault because that's what I allowed. And it goes back to, and then obviously the Van Buren game is where it started, and then, you know, it bled over into the state tournament. I think our lack of experience, but then also I thought the 5A West did not play well in the state tournament. You know, Harrison had a really good team. I think they lost 1 conference game, and that just shows you when you go back to the toughness level. You know, 5A West is a different beast as far as toughness, and it's called very physical. They let a lot of stuff go, but then you get in the state tournament, if you haven't really prepped yourself and you haven't really prepared, you're going to play somebody that's just as tough as you and maybe more athletic than you.
That's right. Okay, Coach. Well, that concludes our interview. We appreciate you guys coming down, giving us an opportunity. Good luck to you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We've had enough of this nonsense.
With first-year coach Jess McCullough and the Farmington Lady Cardinals. Coach, just if you don't mind, go ahead and introduce yourself, and then introduce the 4 ladies that you brought with you, and tell us a little bit about each one, you know, and the reasons why you chose them.
All right, I'm Jessica McCullough. This is my 21st year coaching all at Farmington, but like you said, my first year as the varsity head coach. I brought with me 2 seniors, a junior and a sophomore. I'm going to kind of start with our seniors and tell a little bit about both of them first. This is Reese Thornton. Reese was all-conference honorable mention for us last season. Reese is a kid that runs the floor as good as any kid that we've ever had. She's relentless on the boards. She has a knack for finding the ball. She scores the ball extremely well, and Reese is a great leader for us, like both on and off the court. Reese is committed to continue her basketball career at John Brown University, so she'll be signing in November to play at John Brown. Next, we got Josie Dillard. Josie is a guard who can really shoot the three. She's extremely quick. She'll handle the ball a lot for us this season. She'll be a knockdown shooter for us. She's very disruptive defensively. And Josie will also be continuing her basketball career, and she's going to sign in November with Evangel University in Springfield. And kind of a fun fact, her sister plays there too. Her sister's a senior this year and also played in our program. So she'll kind of follow in her sister's footsteps, so that's fun. Next, we have Sadie Morrison. Sadie is a junior for us this year. She, and really, I'm going to speak on all three of these kids real quick, but all three of them would have played for about every program we played last year. They didn't get a lot of minutes for us because we were so talented with our senior group. But those kids were varsity players playing JV. And I think, we say all the time, like our JV team, we would have went and played just about anybody with them. They were solid, they were good, and these three have kind of waited their turn. And it's kind of unique this day and age with kids jumping around and moving. These two seniors sat and waited their turn. Sadie sat and has waited her turn. She's a junior. But Sadie is extremely talented. She is just kind of a freak athlete. She's a star volleyball player. She'll be a star basketball player for us. She's a difference maker on both ends. Offensive and the defensive end, she makes plays. This summer at camp, just about every team we played, every coach was going, who is that kid? Like, who is she? People haven't seen these kids. And so I'm excited for people to get to see who these kids are and see the talent that they have. Next, I have Easton McCullough. She is our only starter that's returning from last year. She was the 5A West Player of the Year, State Tournament MVP, All-State, All-Conference, Arkansas Preps Player of the Year. Averaged 21 points a game, 4 rebounds, 3.5 assists a game. Easton's an extremely hard worker. She's incredibly talented, just plays really mature beyond her years, and she's a pretty quiet kid by nature, but I think most people that watched her game kind of speaks for itself. She's not going to say a lot, she's just going to go play. So we're looking for big things out of all these kids this year.
And Coach, like we said, you've been there for a while, but stepping into the head coaching role, there's a culture of winning at Farmington. There's a great basketball culture at Farmington, not just all sports, but especially basketball, as Coach Taylor was talking about. Are we going to see any differences in style, versus when Coach Johnson was there?
I think the great part about it is, I've coached there for 21 years, or this is year 21. I spent 4 years with Hall of Fame coach Brad Blue. He was also my high school coach, so I played there. And then went back and coached with him. And then I was actually pregnant with Easton when Coach Johnson got hired. And so me and Brad were together for 16 years. And, there's going to be some things that I might tweak here and there that might be a little different, but what we did worked. And what better person to coach with and learn from than Brad Johnson. My expectations can't be that I'm going to be him or I'll be disappointed, because it's just not possible. But, he taught me so many valuable things. Coaching off the court is about as good of a person as you'll ever come across. So I think he has prepared me and this program for this time.
And this question to the players, we start down here with Josie, and you just committed a few days ago, right?
Yes.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll start down here with you with the two seniors, but I want to hear from all four of you guys. It's kind of a two-part question. So the first part is talk to us about Has there even been any type of transition, going from Coach Johnson to Coach McCullough, since Coach McCullough has been there? And then the second part of that, I'd really like to hear from you two. You lost a super strong senior class. You guys have been there, you've been in the program, but talk about the different role you have now as seniors.
I feel like it's been like the kind of same transition with Coach McCullough and Coach Johnson. Like they do like some of the same things, and it's just great because we've had her from our junior year and now to our like senior years and like our freshman years, and it's just been great transition.
Yeah, so it's been a super easy transition. We've known her practically our whole lives from the early days, So it was a super easy transition. We were used to her coaching, so.
And before we move on, talk about, stepping into new leadership roles as seniors.
We learned a lot from the senior class above. Obviously, they were super talented. They were some of the best leaders that we've seen, and just getting to play against them every single day has been great because we got such great reps against them. We learned so much, and so it just made it an easier transition to step into that senior role.
Yeah, and we have like all different roles, and you just have to buy into it and just keep working hard.
And Sadie and Easton?
Going off of what Reese and Josie said, the transition was pretty easy, like the easiest it could be. And Coach McCullough has been our coach since junior high, so we all have the same culture and values that we do now. And without the seniors, it is sad to see them go, but we all have our own roles that we buy into, and we're all basically leaders on the team, so.
Like they all said, the transition was super easy. We've obviously known Coach McCullough our whole lives. But the roles, obviously the seniors were very talented, and I think it's awesome that we all got to look up to them and learn from them and hopefully carry it on until we graduate.
Coach 5A doesn't get any easier, right? But tell us a little about some non-conference scheduling. And I'm not for sure, I haven't taken a look at your schedule yet, but I know you went last year to a pretty strong out-of-state tournament. Is that something similar on the schedule for this year?
Yes. We have a really tough non-conference schedule, but we're really excited about it. We start off with Mountain View, who's a smaller school but extremely talented team. We've got Bryant early in the season. I think our third game we played them. They're going to be extremely athletic. They're returning most of their kids. We go to 3 out-of-state competitions. We'll go to Joplin for a tournament. We also go to a big tournament in Tipton, Missouri. That's a first-year tournament, but there's multiple states with, I think, over 65 state championships between all the teams that are going. We're actually playing Dowling Catholic out of Iowa, which is Caitlin Clark's old high school. And we're playing a team out of Kansas that I believe has won maybe 9 out of the last 11 state championships in their classification in Kansas. That's going to be a lot of fun for our kids. It's a big-time tournament with big-time, high-level players and programs and coaches. So we're super excited about that. We're also going back to Greenville, Tennessee. That's the tournament we played in last year that we took our one loss of the season was at that tournament. And we're going back there. And so we also played Northside in December. Like we're pretty loaded. And the 5A is so loaded that we thought like there's no better way to prepare us for our most important part of the season is to we may face some adversity, and how these kids, we got to learn how to handle that. We'll learn things about ourselves. We'll learn what we're good at, what we're not so good at. It'll be a lot of learning moments for them, for me, and so we're really excited about our non-conference schedule.
Speaking of adversity, right? So what do you lost a lot of production, a lot of starters. Where do you feel this team needs to gel the most during all of these non-conference games before you hit that conference stride, and before regional, before state?
Yeah, like you said, we lost so much talent from last year's team. We've had a lot of talent at Farmington over the years, and that team last year was the best team we've ever had. I mean, it was, I truly think we could have handed them the basketball and said, go win. And they would have said, okay. And so these kids got to practice against that every single day and get better and get reps and get better. And they have really bought into what their roles are and what they're really good at. And every one of them is different. But they, like, culture is our number one thing. And these kids truly love each other and they want to play well for each other. And so we know, like, things may be a little tougher. Like, scoring may not come quite as easy. You know, I feel like last year it didn't matter how somebody guarded us. It was probably wrong, you know, just because we had so many talented players. I feel like that's going to be the case for for these kids too. The thing that's kind of a blessing with them is people don't know them. Like, they know Easton, and they don't really know the rest of our team. And I think that that's honestly like an advantage for us, because these kids are really talented. But I think the biggest thing for them is they know their role and they're really good at what they're really good at.
Okay, y'all, to quickly wrap it up. We're not trying to get anybody fired here, but I want to hear your funniest Coach McCullough story, okay? Give me the best or the funniest Coach McCullough story.
I'll go first.
On the court, Easton. Keep it on the court.
Yeah, talk about home.
I remember, I think it was like maybe 2 years ago, I don't know, we were in junior high and we were at ORU team camp, and I think we were all in like the school van or something, and there were like speed bumps ahead. Like, we were going around to our dorms, and she's like going like 20 up to this speed bump, and we like ramp it, and like everyone's flying. And then there are like 6 others, and then we ramped every single one of them. And then now it's kind of a tradition every time we go there. We're usually on the bus now, but usually we're like ramp them. So we go over all those speed bumps up at ORU. So that's probably my funniest.
Do that.
I would say my favorite moment from Coach McCullough, or funniest moment, was also in ORU. As a team, we all went to go get some ice cream just to bond. And then one of our players, she's kind of a jokester on our team, and she's very funny. But we thought it'd be funny. She was in the bathroom, and we were all trying to leave. And we thought it'd be funny if we would just start leaving and just have her run out and try and catch us. And so she was just like, Coach McCullough had her van with all the seniors in it. They were just trying to chase her around the parking lot.
We tricked her. We were going to leave her, but we didn't leave her.
Coach McCullough is basically our hairstylist. Like, she'll literally do our hair. She'll put it up or curl it.
I have to mom him a little bit too.
It's awesome.
So we're taught one of our big things is try to play without emotion, keep the emotion out of it, but sometimes Coach McCullough does like to show the emotion.
That's what she's trying to say.
Well, she said play without emotion. She didn't say coach without emotion.
I'm like, control your emotions. Don't.
All right. Farmington Lady Cardinals, best luck to y'all. Appreciate y'all coming down.
Thank
all right?
you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Nice.
Jacksonville. Coach, would you mind? Oh,
Coach
sorry.
Carroll.
I'm sorry. Would you mind introducing yourself and then the players that you brought with you? I'm sorry, Coach.
No worries. I'm Coach Carroll. This will be my 7th year coaching overall, my 6th year at Jacksonville. I'm the head 9th grade coach. In addition, I'm the assistant varsity coach as well. To my left, I have sophomore Davion Parker, plays point guard position. Also, we have junior and Cameron Muhammad. And to my right, we have 2 of our seniors, Karen Robinson and also Gary Fuller.
And I'd like to hear from each of the players. I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts on coming into this year from last year, what you prepared for over the summer, and then how summer team camps has gone and how your practice has gone. Tell me the overall theme and culture.
Well, I can't say too much because I just transferred this year, but I know so far we've been just working on ourselves, getting better by 1% every single day. You know, keeping in the back of our mind that they're going to try to come at us during the season because we're young, but that doesn't matter. Every day we're getting better. Every day we're making sure we're pushing ourselves. And yeah.
I feel like just sticking with it, sticking with the process. I know everything is a process, and I know if we get 1% better, it doesn't matter how much you get better at the end of the day, 1%.
Well, I feel like since summertime, we were working on our chemistry and building like a better team bond. Because last year, a lot of people had egos, so we've been trying to get like better as a team.
To piggyback off what Cam said, we just been trying to get our chemistry together and just make sure that we got a good bond, because last year it was really too many egos going around, so we've been trying to make sure that we've been having a brotherhood, going out doing things for the community and spending time with each other.
Coach, considering this group is pretty much fresh and new, talk about how you've been getting them to gel, or the culture and the mindset of this team at this point.
Yeah, one thing Coach Adams has done an outstanding job on is just establishing a team culture and just make sure that they're all friends first, so compared to being teammates. Like, they all do different team building activities. So just recently had a team barbecue, also at a community service event where they all got a chance to interact within the community, just introduce themselves and showcase themselves, just showing that they're a big part of the Jacksonville community.
To each player, coming in over the off-season, coming off the off-season, over the summer, what's some of the things that you have worked on to help strengthen your skill set, and how do you plan on applying it to this coming season?
Well, individually, we kind of just hold ourselves accountable of just staying after practice. I think Coach Adams is confident that we know what we need to get better on, so he kind of knows that after practice, maybe you need to stay and shoot, stay and work on your ball handling, just different things like that. So, yeah.
I agree with him. I feel like I just need to work on my shooting ability. I feel like staying after practice really does help. It doesn't matter how long you stay. It just matters, just get process, just get what you got to do. And you got to get it.
I feel like I need to work on my mentality and talk to my teammates better. I feel like I need to work on my mentality and talk to my teammates better, to let them know what's going on, and to just telling them in a better manner than like yelling, and like working on my other skill sets like passing and rebounding, working on my vert, stuff like that.
I feel like I got to get better at my shooting and decision making at times, because last year I could make some bad decisions and shoot some shot. My shot wasn't falling last year, so I just been getting in the gym, working on my shot, getting on the gun every day after practice, because Coach Adams don't got to tell us to get on the gun or stay after practice. We all just know what we need to work on, so we all just work on what we need to so we can help the team when the season comes.
Coach, being able to motivate a squad during a moment that they're down, who's that go-to player, or what's that go-to to help build this team confidence and build this team morale back up? What's that go-to?
The go-to, I mean, as far as go-to players,
Yeah.
Okay, I would say one of our go-to players is Mr. Davion Parker. He's taking on the role of a leadership role. We had a couple moving pieces over the summer. We lost 2 guards to different teams across the state of Arkansas. So he took it upon himself to step into that leadership role as a sophomore, and he keeps everyone engaged, keeps everyone motivated, and he also improved his ways of just, instead of talking at players, just talking to them, just to keep them motivated.
I know he said he was a new transfer into the school, and I also know that you got a younger player that's coming up this year that should be in addition to the squad. Can you talk about how that will help you this season?
Yeah, so Mr. Gary Fulton, one thing he's done, like he doesn't talk a lot, but one thing he does, he's changed the environment and the culture of the weight room, the track, things like that. He's one of the hardest workers I've seen since I've been coaching here at Jacksonville. Like, he's first in every sprint. He does above and beyond when it comes to lifting weights, things of that nature. And also Mr. Span over there. Last year, he had the opportunity to move up, but he stated that he just wanted to stay and develop the skills more, which has helped him tremendously. Like, he's going to be one of our focal players this year and a key piece to us getting to the playoffs.
This is for each player. Who is that person, or what is that thing that is the biggest influence in basketball to you?
Me personally, it's probably family, because I grew up around basketball. So once I ask myself, why am I doing it, I think it's because of family. They like seeing me play. I like playing. Every time I go on the court, I just love what I'm doing. So it's probably family.
I feel like it all starts with yourself. Like, if you're not in it, I feel like you shouldn't do it, because basketball is, you gotta want to play basketball. And I feel like if you don't feel like you really like the sport, then you shouldn't try to play it at all.
I feel like I do everything for my lost relatives, so I know I can do whatever they wanted, they knew I could do. I want to keep pushing for them.
I feel like I just grew up around basketball, so me playing is just it was just installed in me from a young age, and I just love playing it, so that's why I do what I do.
Coach, the 5A is a pretty tough conference. Talk about some of the things that you're doing to help prepare your team mentally and physically for the 5A.
Yeah, 5A is probably the toughest, in my opinion, the toughest conference, toughest division in the state. One thing we've been doing, one thing that Coach Adams did that I kind of like as well, is all of our preseason games are on the road, so that way it'll get them battle tested, battle ready. So when December 12th comes against Parkview, we'll be ready for them.
And Coach, what do you think? A lot of new players on your roster this year, but what do you think you guys really need to work on? You were talking about that non-conference and going on the road and getting battle tested. What do you think this team really needs to work on to gel before that conference play starts?
I would probably say just getting over mistakes. Mistakes are going to happen. It's just how you react to them, So, I mean, yeah, with them being young and also inexperienced, like I say, they're going to make mistakes here and there. But one thing we just got to work on is making it to the next play. Mistakes going to happen. Just got to learn from it and learn from all the mistakes. They won't continue to make them in the future.
Coach, Jacksonville is a program that's storied, that has a great fan base, and that fan base can sometimes be one of the loudest, and they also can critique you the most. So the support part, I feel like is important for every team.
Right.
Talk about to your team and to the fans that's watching how important for them to support this team through the bad and through the good.
I would say, as far as that, just kind of basically what I stated earlier, mistakes are going to happen, but just how we react to them is going to just prepare us for the future. These kids, day in, day out, they're working, they're grinding, they're very gritty. So, I mean, it's going to show out there on the court. I mean, with that being said, every team that is going to play them, they're going to learn that, hey, we play Jacksonville, they're going to leave the gym tired, beat, So, I mean, just just them showing their grittiness and their toughness is it's gonna bring a lot of support to us, and also the fans are gonna be like, hey, that team played hard. So that's all we care about, just them giving 110% every game.
Jacksonville, you heard it here first. Show your support to the Titans. Coach, thank you for coming out.
Oh, you got it.
Appreciate you guys giving us opportunity. Good luck for the season.
Yes, sir.
We've had enough of this nonsense.
All right, we're back with Coach Amon Love and the Joe T. Robinson Ladies Senators. Coach Love, if you don't mind, why don't you take a few minutes and introduce each of the four ladies you brought with you. Tell us a little bit about them and the reasons why you chose them.
So I'm going to start to my far right. I have my senior, Taylon Harrell. Taylon has been with us for several years. Taylon has been growing into a really good athlete. People probably don't know, but she started basketball a little bit late. She was a gymnast first, y'all. But she's grown into like a really good player. I brought her because she's bringing that senior leadership that we need, and plus also giving us a good impact on defense. Riley Williams here, which is to my immediate right. Riley is a first-year sophomore here at Joe T. Riley brings instant offense for us, and I think that that's going to be a real big impact for us. To my immediate left, Aubrey Williams. Aubrey, incoming freshman. Aubrey brings, actually for her age, she brings a lot of good leadership and point guard IQ, which I think is going to be beneficial for our conference and also for our for 4A. And then Asharia Simmons. Asharia Simmons is also an incoming freshman. She is someone who kind of has almost like the whole package for you. So I believe all these young ladies are going to make an impact in those parts that I said, plus overall defensively for us.
And Coach, I might be ruining this for a lot of people out there, but just like there was a coach in your conference just earlier today talking about how every team in your conference has gotten much better. Probably nobody has gotten as much better as what Joe T. Robinson has. You've had several move-ins who are going to have immediate impacts. You have a lot of young players who are going to have immediate impacts. So I might be ruining that surprise for people. I realize you guys have taken some lumps over the past couple of years, but I have a feeling you're going to be dishing out some lumps this year. But talk about, not just developing your players, having a few move-ins, having a few younger players as you're going to move up. Talk about changing that culture that, we're no longer the doormat. We're going to be the ones that are taking it to some teams. And how do you change that mindset in your players?
So as far as mindsets, and I'm assuming you mean for the ones who are already there, currently there, I think they were already hungry for it. I think that when the new move-ins came, we gelled together really fast, and we had a really good summer. The atmosphere is a lot more enjoyable, of course, with a little bit more talent. It's also competitive, but they've been enjoying each other. I think this is one of probably the most fun summers that in my time at Robinson, period, that in my teams have had.
And I'd like to hear from all four players. I realize we have a senior and then a lot of some younger players, but talk about that role now. You're a senior now. That's a little different, right, than just being a junior or sophomore, because you have people looking up to you. You have some leadership. So talk about embracing that, throughout the summer and then throughout the fall practices, getting ready for the season.
Embracing that role, it was a big change because I'm not the type to kind of speak up. So I had to switch it, but it's been fun. I like all the girls, so they listen and stuff, so it ain't been challenging. So.
And I'd like to hear from the rest of the players as well. And I realize some are young and some are new, but just talk about this summer that Coach Love talked about, how it was fun, it was engaging, and you guys are really embracing this basketball mindset.
Yes, sir. We used this summer to go ahead, build chemistry on and off the court, and just go ahead and find out ways to just see how we can improve as a team and individually.
Yeah, the summer was fun. We bonded very well. We came together as a team. We worked together as a team and just gelled, basically.
I'm going to pick off what the last two said. Great chemistry from the summer, and we just enjoy each other. Just enjoy being around each other.
And Coach, talk about a little bit about your non-conference schedule that you scheduled, and what games we can look forward to you guys playing before you hit that conference, because you got to really prepare these girls. It's a tough conference, so you got to really prepare these girls for that tough conference. Which it doesn't matter who you're playing in that conference. It's a tough game every night.
Yes. So we actually had some pretty tough games this summer that I thought for our team kind of surprised me, as far as where I thought we might be by the time that we get to the season. But to start off, we have the defending state champions, the Queen, in the Clarksville Classic. We have played Alma. We'll play Jacksonville. I'm trying to think of all the other non-conference. We've got a few more competitive games that I think will prepare us for that, maybe similar teams, maybe not exactly like every team that we have in our conference. But I think the scheduling was more so methodical in a way to try to have at least one team that we play that helps to prepare us for when our actual conference starts, so we won't be surprised by what we're facing, whether it's a defense or a high-octane offense. So I tried to get a little bit of both.
And talk about some of the girls that you're also going to be leaning on this fall, other than the four you brought with you.
So I can name all of them, to be honest. So I've got Lauren Jackson, also, who is the incoming freshman. I think she's going to create a high impact. Dakota. People call it Dakota, but Jocelyn Dean, last year, she brings a whole lot of energy to our team, especially on the defensive side. Her communication has picked up quite a bit. Charity Woods, who is also a senior. Charity has grown over this summer. Charity has brought a lot of action for us. Collins Cross, very versatile sophomore player that I have. She's going to be someone who I think is going to surprise a lot of people. I don't think anybody's, if anybody's looking at Joe T, they may not be thinking about her, but she's going to surprise a lot of people. Eva Carter, someone who has come in, and the girls could tell you she's knocking down shots at a high clip now. She's doing well. I've got Aaliyah Evans. I've got Lindsay Castleberry, who's a senior who brings a lot of good leadership for us. So, and I might be missing some people. Kylie, who else did I miss? Oh, Claire. I got Claire Gilliland. She's going to be someone I believe who's going to bring a lot of impact on the inside for us. So, I'm expecting everybody to contribute. I don't think our depth is going to be pretty good. So, I'm pretty happy most of the time with the competition that we bring towards each other. And I think as that second group starts to get more competitive and get more confident, then it's just going to be really good for us as we get into the season.
This is a question that I've really reserved to a few coaches only. With your team, I'd really like to ask the players first, and then, Coach, you can hear what they say, and then if you have anything to add in, that's great. But what I'd really like to know from the players, from each one of you guys, what do you guys still feel, since we have so many new players and younger players moved up, what do you guys still feel is the number one thing you need to gel on as a team throughout the rest of your fall practice and then your non-conference schedule before you hit that conference slate?
I think we still need to gel on communication. It's gotten a lot better, but with us having so many young kids, young players, they still got areas to grow in and trying to communicate on what to do and how they feel and stuff. So
I just add on to what Taylor said with the communication part, because it plays a big role, and I feel like once we get that with the leadership, then it'll be good.
I want to bank off what the other two said, communication and just knowing where everyone needs to be, and just how we can communicate as a team and just come together.
I would say rebounding. We getting better and better as we go through the practices, but rebounding.
Coach, have you anything to add to what they said about what you need to gel on as a team?
The communication was my third. Rebounding was one, but overall, do y'all know what I said the other one was besides rebounding?
Defense.
Transition defense. So, those things we are just consistently working on. So I feel as we, get to the point where I feel satisfied with those, then we'll be a very competitive team.
All right, Coach, is there anything you would like to add just as an overall, cohesive statement about your team moving forward this year?
So one of the things is the girls try to do a good job of trying to make me laugh, because I come to practice and my face is typically just straight faces and whatever. So they do a good job. I love the fact that they try to make me laugh, and then sometimes I intentionally, sometimes I don't intentionally do something that has them giggling. So it creates a competitive atmosphere. I do believe that they really enjoy playing this game and being together, because in Branson, I have them do a little TikTok and everything, competition. So they enjoyed all of those little things together, and it just happened, just organically. It wasn't, forced. So.
All right, well, that's going to conclude it up. Coach Love, we appreciate you bringing your lady Senators out, and good luck to you guys this season.
Thank you.
Nice.
Okay, up next, we got the Nettleton Raiders with head coach Dominic Lincoln. Coach, thank you for coming.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Coach, introduce yourself and who you brought with you.
My name is Dominic Lincoln, head coach of the Nettleton Raiders. I have Coach Danny Salazar with me to my right, and to my left we have T.J. Whitney.
Coach, talk about some of the expectations you have for this group this year and just how last season kind of ended for you guys and where you plan on going this year.
Well, it's my first year here. Obviously, they talented group of kids lost in the heartbreaker to Catholic second round of the playoffs. And, you know, for us, our expectation is to continue to get better, continue to stick to our process. And we want to play our best basketball when we need to the most in the state tournament. I just want to build on the foundation that was left here, and then hopefully we can make a deep run in the state tournament.
Coach, considering this your first year, talk about how the Nettleton Nation has embraced you, and how has it been so far?
It's been amazing, honestly. I want to first thank Bubba Deaton. He was the head coach here before me, and he's been awesome. Just the transition, he helps me with anything, any question I might have. I got a great staff, like I said, Coach Salazar, Coach Butler, Coach Harris, Coach Hilson, and then also just the whole community, the whole school district, the lady basketball team, Coach Frisbee, Coach Frazier, his staff, just so many people. It's truly like a family. We enjoy coming to work every day, so it makes everything enjoyable.
Coach, speaking about Coach Danny Salazar, talk about the what he brings to the program and just his expertise and his energy that he brings.
Yes, he does a great job, a professional for sure, comes prepared every day, really detail-oriented, especially on defensive end, scouting, and just making sure the operation runs smooth. So, you know, without him, you know, the operation wouldn't go as smooth as it does. So I'm very appreciative of him and just his professionalism and how hard he works.
Coach, so this is for TJ. TJ, considering last year I had a chance to watch you all down in the regional stuff. Talk about that moment and talk about how the team has bounced back from it, and what do you all plan on doing going forward, the mentality, so to speak.
First off, you know, we went out with a buzzer beater, and we trying to regroup, get everybody back. And like, we have players that didn't play as much last year, so we got to get them to where they need to be, to where they can play this year.
Talk about that leadership role. Coach, he's leaning heavy on you as a leader this year. Talk about what leadership means to you, and how do you plan on going forward with your team being that leader?
Leadership means a lot to me. It means to get like everybody where they're supposed to be, and hopefully to get where I was or even better.
Coach, with you switching from a 5A school, obviously in a different side of the state, but to another 5A school, with you kind of having that familiarity with the conference as well, how do you think that's going to help you going into this season?
Well, I think it's going to help us a lot. Now, obviously, the West is different than the East, but when I was in the West, we come over here and we actually played Nettleton, and you know, you get to see the speed of the game here and how they want to play here. So familiar with it, and I think it's going to fit me personally as a coach very well. It's going to fit our players very well. So I think we got a great chance to be successful if we do what we're supposed to do.
All right, this is for TJ. For someone that doesn't know your game, describe your game.
My game, I think it's more of like a get downhill. I'm more of a finisher. I'm trying to expand my game more, but I'm mostly more of a finisher, get downhill guy.
With that being said about the 5A, the schedule, the conference, things like that, are there any, first for TJ and then for the coaches, are there any games you have circled, whether it's rivalry, you just want to have fun, you got something that's on your mind?
Jonesboro High School, of course. That's the game we got circled.
I mean, it has been a few years since we played Jonesboro High School, so it's always exciting for the kids and the community because it's something that we used to be in the same conference at one point, but so for us to get to play that game again, it'd be exciting for the kids and the school and the community.
I just have to piggyback off what they said. Obviously, I'm new to the area, but you know, I've been educated on that and the rivalry of that. And you know, you talk about Jonesboro, you talk about one of the best programs in the state, and so you know, you got to measure yourself against the best. And so we're looking forward to that game, just to compete and see where we're at and see what we got to work on. And you know, hopefully that leads us to have success in conference too.
You're talking about measuring yourself to, you know, some of the best in the state right there. How do you guys think you stack up or match up?
I think first we worry about ourselves, and we just come to work every day and get better. But I do think that when we get off the bus, we know that it's a fight, and I think we want to throw the first punch. And you know, I think we got one of the best players in the state right here next to me with T.J. Whitney. I think with 10 as being 10, we like our chances against anybody.
Yeah, TJ, considering you're one of the most underrated players here, but one of the most talented players that's flying under the radar, how is that chip on your shoulder, and how do you plan on that feeling your intensity this year?
I feel like that plays a big part when I step in the game. I have to show everyone why I'm one of the top players in the state.
So, Coach, you know, I know you probably haven't had that much with your team, many practices with your team, but as of right now, where is your team on a scale of 1 to 10 in your book?
I would say we've been practicing since when I took over in June. I would say we're at a 6, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just think we always got room to improve, and I think there's things that we need to continue to work on as a team, for us communicating, defense, getting better, getting back, and things like that. So I'm never going to give them a high score just because I feel like we got to keep them hungry. So I would say 6, but at the same time, I like where we're headed, and I think when it all said and done, we get to the state tournament, that number will be a little higher.
This is for Coach Danny. Coach Danny, I've been following you for a while now, and you've been part of some nice teams and had a great run, especially with Blytheville. Talk about how you're coming into this season and the mindset you're putting towards it.
And I think this season, you know, we had 8 seniors last year, and then the year before we had about 5 or 6. So, you know, this year is a kind of learning about who we got outside of T. Witt and TJ Daly as the only 2 guys that really played significant minutes. And so really trying to get these younger guys ready. You know, we have had some question marks coming into the season, but we feel excited about the guys that are coming up, and, you know, got to fill those other roles with guys that we got graduated. And so we like what we got, and we're excited with this young group and see what happens.
I'm always most curious kind of on some of that younger talent, some of the guys who didn't get to make it here today. Do you got any guys that you want to spotlight or showcase?
For sure. Junior Jordan Orr, who's in football right now. A senior, Jeremiah Jackson. And then we also have Lamarian Rogers, another guy that we're hoping to take a big step and to help us grow and develop. And then, you know, Jay-Z Brewster. We have a lot of guys. And then, like you said, TJ Daly's not here with us right now. Wish he could be here too. And, you know, with those 2 guys too, with TJ Daly and TJ Whitney, I think that's a 1-2 punch that it's one of the best in the state.
Yeah, for TJ, is there a team in the conference that you consider one of your toughest opponents, or the team always have a rivalry with that team? I know Jonesboro won, but I mean, not Jonesboro, but I know, Valley View. Talk about how, you know, that rivalry is for you.
I feel like a good rivalry we have is Berrien. They always had a good team, and we always put up a fight once we played against them. And last year we split with them, so hopefully we get to take it 2-0 this year.
Okay, Coach, you know, last year you transitioning into this team, the players, have you seen a difference in the mentality? Have you heard anything as far as their mentality change, or seen something where they're gravitating towards you?
Oh, absolutely. I think we've seen it ever since the first team camp we had in Bartlett. I just think we're growing together. They're getting familiar with what I expect from them and what they expect from me. And, you know, I think we're a tight-knit group, and we're growing as a family and a brotherhood. And I just think the way we approach practice every day, when we get done with practice, kids are in your office, and, you know, they're talking to you, and it's more than just basketball. It's about off the court too. So I definitely think we're going in the right direction. We're growing as a team, and I think that's going to be our biggest asset when it's time to go play, because not only will we have some talent, but that talent's going to play together.
Coach, would you consider yourself a defensive-minded coach or offensive-minded coach?
I would say that I'm whatever I need to be whenever I need to be. It's kind of what I like to say. Obviously, coming from 5A West, I'll be honest, it's more of a tactician league, so you have to be really sharp on your X and O's. But then also at the same time, I think what we're focusing on here at Nettleton right now is defensively. We want to play fast. We want to get out and pressure the ball, and we want to play together. So I think right now I'm more leaning towards my defensive side.
Okay, Coach. I'm sure the Nettleton Nation is watching. Tell the Nettleton Nation just on what you all plan on bringing and what you all plan on exhibiting, you know, out on the court for them.
Well, we expect to play a fast-paced game, a brand of basketball they can be proud of, that they can rally behind, and a brand of basketball that can say, hey, we play really physical, we play tough, and we play for 4 quarters, or we play for overtime, and we do whatever it takes to win. And most importantly, we represent ourselves, our community, and our families the right way.
I always like to speak on recruiting. Kind of, obviously kids playing at the next level is one of the biggest things that I focus on here in the state. So TJ, can you talk about any of your recruitment? And coaches, can you talk about any of the schools that have reached out to talk about some of your guys?
I currently have like 3 offers. I've been talking to a few coaches. Hopefully I gain more this year, show them more what I can do.
We stay in touch with some of the JUCOs around the state pretty often, and they're always inquiring about TJ. He's a great kid and has probably high D1 athleticism. Like you say, he's trying to expand his game, but outside of that, just kind of stay in touch with mainly all the JUCO coaches in Jonesboro, D2 coaches, just like that, and hopefully he has a big year and then more folks come calling.
Coach, talk about that non-conference schedule and what it's looking like. And also just how the non-conference schedule is preparing you all for the meat of the schedule.
No, for sure. I would say the schedule was in place before I got here, but I think Coach Deaton did a really good job of, like they mentioned before, we have Jonesboro big game. We're in the Hurricane Classic. That's a really good tournament. Then we have the Brooklyn Invitational and things like that, and then we'll probably play West Memphis and stuff like that, and then we're going to Mountain Home and traveling up there to play, so we get a little bit of a West game in case you see we're paired with the Western State. So I just think they did a good job of balancing our non-conference out. We can get tested. We can continue to get better, and it helps us get ready for January the 13th when we play Marion.
Well, Coach, that concludes our interview. We appreciate you guys coming down. Good luck on your season.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, we're back with Coach Frisbee and the Nettleton Lady Raiders. Golly, I don't know why I was wanting to say Tigers, but I was wanting to say Tigers. I'm sorry. And the Nettleton Lady Raiders. Coach, if you don't mind, just give us a brief introduction of the ladies you brought with you, and the reasons why you brought them.
Absolutely. I want to start with this. It was hard to pick for this because this is we have a lot of good kids and good players, and but very proud of these 4 right here. We got senior Taylor Thomas right here. Next to me is junior Caden Hardaway. We got junior Kiana Gleason right here, and then we've got sophomore Jordan Cole. And I do want to preface with they are very nervous, so if they struggle, that is a direct reflection of newly acquired assistant coach Colton Frazier back there.
Coach, I got to see you guys play a few times last year. When just every time I watch you play, your teams play hard. They play tough. I mean, they play great defense. I was just impressed every time I watch you guys play. You lost a few players, have some new ones coming in. What's the brand we're going to see this fall? Is it going to still be that same toughness?
We hope so. I appreciate you saying that. That's what we talk about all the time. So hopefully these girls hearing you say that is a good thing for us. That's who we want to be. We want to be the most physical team, the toughest team on the floor, and we've had players that have done that in the past. So like you said, we have lost some players that we relied on defensively last year, but that's kind of a staple for us all the way down in our program. So I don't anticipate any let up on that. But we've changed some things, just philosophy-wise defensively. So there will probably be a few more bumps in the road early as we adjust to that. But kind of like Coach Link said, man, by the time we get to the meat of the schedule in conference, we're hoping that that's the same kind of team you see.
Kind of building off that, we were talking with the boys about just the depth of the 5A East. I think I've asked you every year since you've taken over at Nettleton just about that. But last year, I felt like you just kind of talking about the success that the girls have had. I think that as a 4 seed, the job that you guys did in the first round, and then taking Mountain home to the wire there. So that just shows the depth of the conference, a 4 seed going in. And it also shows that it really doesn't matter, what your seed is. It just kind of matters about how you're playing at that particular time.
Yes, I think that's absolutely true. I mean, our league is a brutally tough league. It's physical, very, very physical league. And exactly what you said is what we preach a lot. It's everyone wants to win the league. That's always a goal, is to win the conference. But for us, we say all the time, you just have to get in. If we can get in, then we always believe that we can make a run because we feel as prepared as anybody just getting into the tournament because of all the battles that we deal with for the 2 or 3 months leading up to it. So, I mean, I think we started 0-3 in conference last year. And really the last 2 years, we've kind of stumbled out of the gate and had to just dig and battle our way to get that 4 seed. And then, obviously last year we made a little bit of a run. But, I think our league prepares us for that, for sure.
Just to expound on what Kyle was saying, Coach, not only your conference, but just 5A as a whole, there's just,
that's
loaded, right? Yes. Loaded. And I haven't had a chance to look at your guys' schedule, but do you schedule your non-conference in preparation to get ready for your conference where there's basically no nights off?
Yes, for sure. I think out of the gate, we've got 3 road trips starting the season. We go to Melbourne, who will be solid in their league, and they'll have 10 games under their belt, so they'll be looking like a well-oiled machine. We're trying to figure things out, and we go to Heber to play. They've got a stud kid going to Harding, and then we go to BB the night after that, who was a quarterfinal team in the 5A last year. We go back to Valonia to play in their tournament. So we try to prepare ourselves as much as we can with a different variety of teams. That's something we look at a lot when scheduling is not just the size of the school, but what style does this team play? Because we try to compare those teams to who we have in our league. We want to play a mixture of really athletic, physical teams. We want to play some long, solid, cerebral teams that shoot the ball really well. We try to mix that in as much as we can, just so we're not really surprised by anything when we get to conference.
This is going to be addressed to all 4 of the ladies here. Tyler, we can start with you down here. What have you guys worked on this summer? Whether it's practice, off-season workouts, team camps, and this fall, just like we talked about, you guys lost a few players, bringing some new ones in. So what's the main thing that you guys have worked on together as a team?
Just playing together, learning each other well, having multiple kids that can do multiple things, and that's it.
Chemistry, I would say, getting better as a team, like just building each other up. That's it.
I'll piggyback off what KK and TT said, just getting better as a team and, getting in the gym with each other a lot so we can figure out our chemistry and all that so we can see how we play with each other and,
Working on the little things on defense, making sure we communicate with each other, being in the right spots. We're just trying to get
the chemistry together.
Yeah.
I got to think those are good terms to hear as a coach, chemistry and communication, right?
For sure.
What do you think that your team really needs to work on for the rest of the small amount of time you have practice before you start playing, and then your non-conference? What do you guys really need to gel on?
Well, if we could physically grow, that would help. If we could get about 2 inches each across the board, that would help. But realistically, I think everything they're saying is true. Obviously, every year, coaches talk about we lost this, we lost that, and that's just the reality. Everybody loses players every year. So that whole offseason is spent trying to develop that chemistry offensively and defensively. So for us, I think right now, Coach and I talk, there's some things, some little things defensively that we're seeing daily that we're like, okay, that's got to be addressed. But as far as the effort and the energy and the attention to doing what we're asking them to do, I'd say we're farther along than I thought we would be at this point. So I'm proud of that. And offensively, I'm going to be honest, I really like this team offensively. I think that we have a group that we can put 5 players out there who can all score and score in different ways, which is nice. And I think the last couple of years we've relied more on 2 kids to get us the majority of our scoring, maybe 3 kids to help. And I really do think that this group's we've got several players, including players that are going to come off the bench that could go get us 10. So I'm not saying we're going to go score 70 a game, nothing like that. I'm just saying that we have multiple threats offensively. In this summer, I was very, very impressed with just how we moved the ball. They talk about chemistry a lot. I was impressed with our immediate chemistry, because usually in the summer, the offense just looks terrible, for every team. And I thought we shared the ball well, we moved the ball well, very unselfish group. And so I think for us, just harboring the details of what we got to have on both sides. That sounds cliche, but we've just got to focus on the little things as we go, and those things will show up soon enough, as soon as we play a game.
You mentioned one, Coach, but who are some of the players that you're going to be leaning on that aren't here today?
Yeah, obviously these 4. Takala Marshall, she started for me as a sophomore, had some really big games for us as a sophomore, tore her ACL, came back last year and really pushed herself to come back early and tried to play. She was cleared the day before we started conference. And so we tried to get her out there some, wasn't really comfortable. And you throw a kid like that 9 months out into the 5A East, it can be tough. And so she didn't really play a ton for us down the stretch last year, but she looks great for us right now. I'd say better than she did before the injury. And then obviously we have Tori Cunningham, who's a sophomore, started for me as a freshman last year, who was massive for us down the stretch. So people have talked to me a lot about the run that we made, ending conference into the tournament. She was one of the biggest catalysts for that. I think she averaged 14 and 9 in the last 6 games of our season as a freshman. And she's in volleyball right now, so we'll get her in a couple weeks. But she's someone we're really relying on. And then another girl that was injured last year is Simone Smith. She's our one of the only 2 true posts that we have. Very, very physical, very long, athletic post kid. She has had a really good off season, and so we're just crossing our fingers that she can stay healthy. Because if she does, then I think she can be a really big piece for us.
Question for all 4 of the players. What's that one game that you guys are ready to get back on the court? And not necessarily giving somebody bulletin board material, but what's that one game that maybe slipped away from you? You thought you had it won, but you're ready to get back on the court because left a bad taste in your mouth? Or maybe one of those, cross-town rivalries that a lot of kids in another team that you just have a lot of fun playing against them. What's that one game you guys are ready to get back on the court?
I'm say the Marion game. They're a really good rivalry team.
I would say Batesville because we lost to them. Yeah, we just had a bad game. Yeah, I would say I'd say GCT. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with TT and say Marion.
All right, Coach. Any final comprehensive words for Nettleton Nation?
Sure, man. I'm excited about this group. This has been probably the most enjoyable offseason I've ever had as a coach. And that's a testament to them. Very easy to coach. I don't have to drag it out of them very often. We did a couple times this week, but it's a dog days right now. But man, listen, they are, in my opinion, they're going to be fun to watch, and I think that they're going to make Nettleton proud. And so that's, what you said at the beginning, that's what we hope to be. We want to be a team that people enjoy watching, and they look out there and say, man, those kids get after it. So this group is going to do that, I have no doubt.
Well, this is a personal question for the players. So after a good tough game, y'all got to win. You're on your way home. You're hungry. What's that go-to meal? You said, "Mama, Daddy, could y'all stop and give me what?"
Are we on the road or are we home? If
home.
we're on the road, what's the
home.
answer?
Home.
Slims.
Yeah. Or if we're in the Little Rock area,
Canes.
Yes.
I love the Canes and Slims. If you're at home, what is it?
I guess some pizza, Domino's.
I say Chick-fil-A.
I love it.
I say McDonald's, the 4 for $5 meal.
Right along with Kiana. That 4 for $5.
So pizza, McDonald's, recovery meal. That's good. That's what we want.
They come to practice ready today.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's up, man. Well, we appreciate you all. That concludes the interview for today. Appreciate y'all coming
Thank
down.
you so much for having us. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, up next we have the Hot Spring Trojans leading the way. We got head coach Josh Hayes. How you doing, Coach?
Doing good, doing
Man,
good.
thank y'all for coming down, man. It's a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Introduce yourself and introduce who you brought with you.
Okay, Josh Hayes, head coach at Hot Springs High School. I'll start over here to my far left is Deron Hicks, sophomore. And we got sophomore Judah Johnson right next to me. To my right, we got junior Elijah Reed. And then last but not least, we have Van Hayes, freshman.
Coach, let's talk about, your goals and expectations for this team. Considering I know they're young, they're fresh to the, you got some fresh to the high school world. Talk about it.
It's funny. We just watched last year's interview to prepare for these questions on the way down here. But asking that question, and hearing how I answered it last year, the expectations are the same, but I think they're a little different. And you alluded to it. I do have some fresh and inexperienced guys on varsity, which is, it's kind of, I don't know what to expect almost, but I know this. I expect us to play hard. I expect us to compete. I think we're good enough to be one of the top 4 teams in our conference, but you never know till you lace them up. So our expectation is always, of course, you want to win a state title, number 1. Number 2, you want to make it to the state tournament. And I think that's our main overall goal with, having 2 sophomores up here who both contributed a lot last year. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, we lost 5 starters, and they were all seniors. So it's a shift. It's a dynamic shift. But I feel good about where we are right now. Of course, I wish we had to run, but he's still on the football field right now. So won't have him probably until, December. So that's another thing. But one thing, we're going to fight, we're going to play hard, we're going to compete. And I think that's our overall expectation and our standard.
So this is for the players. Starting with you, Hayes. Talk about how coming into this season, the mentality has been for the squad.
We were a very young team, and everybody doubting us. And, we lost everybody from last year. We had a lot of seniors. And me, myself, being a freshman, nobody really looking forward to, the hype of it. So, we got to be extra dogs on the court. We got to come together as a team, hype the city up, get everybody involved in Hot Springs basketball.
I honestly feel like going into this year is going to be a lot better. Even though we're a lot younger, we're going to make a lot more mistakes. I honestly feel like during the summer we were doubted a lot. First team camp, we went 0-5. But we shook back for sure, coming 7-0 in versus Lakeside at their team camp.
The mentality really for all of us, and especially, I know us up here is just to be dogs and fight and bump whatever anybody else says. Because, the real thing is the only person who's going to know what's going to happen is God. So if you don't follow and trust him, nobody else gonna know what's happening. So you can't listen to all the smack talk and all that. And we just gonna be us and be who we are and put Troy on the map.
I can agree with Judah said. I think the mentality is to be a dog and just play hard.
Coach, talk about where this team is at right now. I know you have your own expectations for them, but let's talk about where they're at right now and what type of growth you see in them, considering that they are young.
Where we are right now, I'm actually pleased. We're on fall break, so we've been practicing. We've been lifting and practicing, and I'm getting them about 3.5 hours of the day, which I think we've actually gelled the last few weeks. We've had a few scrimmage games in the squad, and, we keep all talking about inexperience, but one thing they do have experience is playing together. Judah and Deron have been playing together 4, maybe 5 years. Van has played with Judah and Deron for about 1.5 years now. And then, of course, Eli and these 3 guys have played together 1 year. And so now, adding Van into that mix, they have great chemistry. And so that's one thing I like where we are. I wish I had more time before November 11th, of course, because it's getting down to the nitty-gritty. And now we're really focusing on things we need to work on, and I think all coaches want more time. But where we are right now, with it being a month and a day away from our first game, I like where we are, especially for, like you say, the youth that we have. But one thing they do have is chemistry, and I think that's something that age doesn't really affect.
So I was going to piggyback pretty much off of that. You said going into this season that, obviously these guys are new with these guys are new with these guys, but they're meshing so well together quickly. So I had a good chance to see all four of these guys pretty much throughout the summer in different stages, whether it be AAU team camps or whatnot. So how do you feel like that summer prepared them to mesh and gel together like so?
Man, I think that was the difference. So, of course, we all played in one team camp together, but I only think we maybe played one game. You heard the Lakeside run?
Yes, sir.
So that's the weird thing. Haven't had them all together, but they have the history. But we practice together. And so the beauty of it is I think their chemistry and also they're close. And they've been close. And I've competed against these jokers in AAU for 3.5, 4 years. And so I think that's the difference in last year. We had 5 new guys. They knew each other, but we kind of had to figure it out, and we didn't have long. These guys are like brothers. And, I think the family aspect is what we all talk about in sports. I preach it because you're a family, you're brothers. They fight like brothers, I tell you that. They give each other a hard time like brothers. But when it's time to come together, they do. And so I think that the closeness and the familiarity of the summer, AAU basketball, back to your question is, man, a lot of high school coaches, we complain about AAU and we want to give the AAU coaches a hard time. I'm on both sides. I'm an AAU coach too, so I feel the pain of everyone. And I think the AAU transition, now guys are playing on these high-level, I can't think of the word, circuits, right, where we all want to get on. That's the difference because it's the highest level of basketball you can play. And so they're playing against top-level competition. So when they come back, their confidence is typically higher. And you can just feel the chemistry as well from these guys. And so things are easy when they come back. So I'm thankful for AAU in the summer. And I think that's probably one of the most impactful things has been for us because we haven't had that long.
Okay, I usually ask each player what's something that, you've been working on over the summer that you typically want to bring into this season that can help your team get to that next level. Start with you, Vance.
I am the youngest one here, so coming in as a freshman, I want to help with leadership, me being a guard, me having Eli as my other point guard, so that'll knock me down as a 1 and a 2, and just helping with penetrating the ball, driving in, kick, get a good shot, whatever. Really just working as a team, and that's really it.
I've been working on my game overall, just being in the weight room a lot, putting up more shots. But I feel like what I've been working on overall is my leadership. Last year I didn't have to be a leader. I was just on the team, a bystander. And I feel like transitioning to having to be a leader this year, that's a big thing. So I feel like that's what I've been working on.
Kind of like Eli said, I've been working on everything, my left, my jumper, my defense, my agility, all that you can name that can help the team, especially my leadership and being vocal and when to speak and when not to speak. So just anything that can help the team to strive and have good chemistry and be great.
Really, like they said, I've been working on everything. It's not one thing that I can just get better at. I can get better at everything. But one thing overall that I've been trying to get better at is confidence, just building that. And this AAU helped playing with Judah, you know what I'm saying? We built that chemistry and that confidence just going up.
So tell me, what does it mean to be a Trojan, to be a Hot Springs Trojan? Wearing that Detroit uniform, what does that mean?
It means a lot. It's great to put on this uniform, and go out and, everybody looking at you. And everybody hating on us. Mm-hmm. But I love the hate, though. The hate, it motivates me a lot. I just love it.
Just to pick up off of what Van said, just to walk in the stadium and see all the fans around you. And also what it means to me, my mom graduated from here with a championship in '96, I believe. So, that's a lot. That means a lot to just come back and piggyback off her and try to get another one.
It means the world to me, to be honest. I've come from several different schools and tried to find my place and where it's right and where I feel like a family and feel home. And as soon as I got here, everybody made me feel safe and welcome, especially the basketball team, school, whatever. So when I put this Trojan jersey, whatever it is, I'm represented to the fullest because I know they got my back no matter what.
Thanks.
I think being a Trojan means carrying yourself to a higher standard and walking with pride and knowing that you can't let anything get in front of your goal, like in life. And that's really it. It's very important.
Definitely very important, Coach. Sound like you said some great, goals and some mindsets for these young fellas right here. I was going to ask for the young guys and then you, Coach. Is there anybody that you have circled out on that schedule? I know Van said you guys are getting a lot of hate. You guys are very obviously prideful to wear their jersey and go put that on. So what's that bulletin board material for you guys? Just to rephrase it for you. What's a team that you really want to play? Rivalry, fun, who you look forward to, anything like that? What you got?
Lakeside for sure. Lakeside, Lake Hamilton. That's been our rivalries for a very long time. Team camp, we lost to Bentonville West, I think.
Yes.
I really want to see them. I wasn't playing. I was hurt. My hamstring, I was out really the whole summer for real. I came back, Lakeside team camp. I mean, I was feeling better, but I wasn't back 100%. But I'm back now, so I'm trying to run it up.
Like Van said, Lakeside, Lake Hamilton, all of those teams, they're looking really nice this year. But I'm really looking forward to playing everybody and just showing everybody that we got it, even though that we young, we here,
Lakeside, Lake Hamilton, Benton, Whitehall, really everybody in our conference. Because everybody been talking like we trash. Everybody been talking like this, and they great teams. I would love to be able to compete and be competitive with them, but they don't know us at all. And so I'm ready for them to know who we are and show them what a real Trojan is. So I just can't wait. And I know they got their stuff marked down too, so I'm ready.
Nah, facts. I want everybody, all the smoke. I ain't gonna lie. Ben for sure though. They gotta get it. I ain't gonna lie.
Yes.
They got to.
I got you. And on to you, Coach Hayes. Anything that you're really excited to see these boys, that's going to really help them prepare them, whether it's non-conference or something that's closer towards the end of the year that's going to help them for that state run?
I think our tournaments. I'm not going to give anybody any bulletin board material I have in the past, but I think I've learned I don't want to motivate anybody more. I never dodge the smoke. I don't, but I'm looking forward to we're playing. It's not quite the tournament that it used to be, but in Forest City.
Rumble on the Ridge.
Rumble on the Ridge, man. I went blank. The Rumble on the Ridge, when I was an assistant at Hall, and we had those great teams with Bobby Portis and those guys. It was the best tournament in the state. I think for us last year, we didn't go out of town and have an overnight trip until the state tournament. And I think that's important to do that early, to have a tournament experience, that prepares you for that. And then we will be playing in the Charles Ripley Classic as well. I've been wanting to be in that tournament since I've been a head coach. This is my 11th year, so they finally let me in. I'm a Little Rock guy, let's be honest. And so being able to play anywhere in Little Rock, I think it's great for my guys. We all know Little Rock is the mecca of basketball in the state. And so any tournaments you can get in, any time you can play. And I left out the most important, right? The matchup, baby. Anytime we can play on a platform and it can showcase my guys and their skill sets and, showcase our team and my energy as a coach. And I think it helps you create fanfare, create rivals, either going to love us or you hate us. But they need that experience with those type of teams and playing in those environments because you don't know where the state tournament is going to be. And you don't know who you're going to play. And I think those tournaments are big, and that's something that I haven't done since I was at East End. And I think that's important for these guys to grow them up pretty quickly and also prepare us for conference. And again, the state tournament, because that's the ultimate goal. I don't want anything being new like it was last year.
So, Coach, like you said, the matchup showcase. got y'all going against Heber on that one. I know Coach Tommy, you know, he's been vocal to me about it, so he's pumped up to fight in it. So talk about, you know, the matchup showcase and how, I know you say it's important for you to showcase, be on platform to showcase your teams. How has that been in the past for you?
You know, not just because you guys are here, but truth be told, that's what other states have been doing, showcases. And I think we had a couple, I believe, when I was at Hall, and we had over at Maumelle, Malik Monk was in them. But we haven't had them consistently. And I think that's the exposure when you have a Nick Smith Jr. and a Kelly Ware that we were missing in state to showcase our guys. We've had some really good players over the past few years, and I don't think they always get showcased where, you know, local and the Central Arkansas area can watch them. You typically got to travel all over the state, and who has time, you know, even money for that. And so the matchup showcase, it's a 2-day event. We all know, but I can give you a synopsis about it. What you get is you're going to get a good competitive team to play against. You're going to get one of the best environments outside of the state tournament or a rivalry game that you can get. Third of all, it's the closest thing to a conference and state tournament game that you can get preseason that is a neutral site. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then, whether it's at, I know it was at Jacksonville, was it Maumelle before? And was it North Little Rock?
Jacksonville.
Yes. So when you got those type of environments, and then look at the fans. You got the who's who of basketball with local guys, and you got the fans, but you got top tier crowds. And you know at your high schools, you don't always get crowds like that to play in front of. And then, you know, the ball you guys pass at the MVP trophy, that's huge. That does a lot for guys' confidence. And then, I mean, we got, of course, Nick Winger spreading everything on the internet or social media. And what you find is, let's be honest, since we're playing Heber, Cortland Muldrew made a name for himself in this 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Having 2 great performances on Friday night and Saturday. I think they beat Bryant and maybe took somebody else close. My point is, you see kids grow up and you find out new stars. Right. And I think I got a few here, and they need a platform to play on so they can be the next one.
Right on. Coach, man, we appreciate you guys coming down. Always looking forward to having you. Good luck to you guys for the season, and be safe on your way back.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Troy.
Okay, up next we have the Bryant Hornets with head coach Mike Abrahamson leading the way. How you doing, Coach?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, Nigel.
Man, hey, always a pleasure. Coach, introduce yourself. Introduce who you brought with you.
Okay, I'm Mike Abrahamson, the head coach of Bryant Hornets. With us we have Kamarion Bede, R.J. Young, Katie Hicks, Mason Abrahamson.
I'm sorry. I should have said state champs. Bryant Hornets, my bad. And I apologize to every team that won the championship last year that I didn't introduce you as the state champs. My bad. Thank you. But congratulations on that, Coach. So right off the bat, talk about it. I mean, high expectations for this group. I see you have some return starters and some new faces. Talk about it.
Yeah, we're a new team in large part. Of course, we've got these two guys back, CB and RJ, that will be our main guys and carry a lot of the load and be our leaders. And then we've got some new guys that have come into the program and some guys that are returning that didn't have a large on the court role last year that will this year. So we're trying to put it together as we speak, and these two guys right here are doing a great job leading the way. KD's battled an injury. He hasn't been on the court in a few months with us, but we'll get him caught up quickly.
Yeah, Coach got some two starters right here that was returning back from last year, CB and RJ. RJ, CB, talk about your leadership roles and, coming into this season, and what's the mentality been like since the championship run?
I would just say really I've been having a leadership role since like 10th grade, so it's nothing new. Really just being able to lead the younger guys and tell them from experience that they don't really got a lot of time, and if they really want to do this, they got to do it now. And just really buy into the culture, because when you bought in, you see what happens.
For me, I'd say in the past couple years, I weren't really a leader. So this year, I had to step it up and really be more vocal. I was more of a lead by example type of person. But Coach A been on us, and I've been being more vocal with it.
And KD, talk about the leadership role that you'll play this year as well.
Just coming in the beginning, just starting to build relationships with the players, coming in as a new player, and just spending time with each player personally off the court so that I can build a better relationship with them on the court, and then just trying to be more vocal in practice, just giving players pointers, or whether I'm just helping them, talking them up, or helping them be better. That's been key for me.
Starting here with Abraham, talk about some of the things you've done over the summer, heading into preseason that you're planning on implementing in your skill set that'll help your team going forward.
Well, my role on the team is to just shoot threes, really. Just expand the floor for CB, RJ, and KD. Just kind of spread it out. So I play off my shot, so shoot first, and if that doesn't work out, shot fake, play off of that, drive, kick it back out to them. So just playing off my shot.
Okay. JD?
Same thing as well, just trying to expand my game beyond driving. Realistically, last year I was more so of a drive first, facilitate to other players just kicking out, shooting threes, or getting 2 feet in the paint. But early on in the season, actually in the summer, just trying to expand my game, shooting more, getting as many shots up as I can before I went down with an injury. So just battling that and getting back right to be on the floor with the guys.
Coach, you said it was a new year, so I think you mean just push the state championship in the rear mirror, At the end of the day, people still view your team as the best team in the state. How do you handle the pressure and expectations that might come along with that?
Work. We've always been about the work, and that doesn't change. Our standard is our standard, and we had a lot of celebrations with the state championship. It was 7 months ago today. We are aware that we won. It's not like we ignore it. you have to close that book, and you have to move forward. You can't live off that forever. So we went to the Capitol, and we had some events where we were celebrated, and we've been honored, and we had our banquet, and we got our rings and all that. That was last year, and so now we need to write our story for this year. And so we work. It's my job to hold the standard. These two guys, like I said, are doing a great job leading the way. KD's going to bring a lot to our team. We expect a lot out of him. Mason, for a young guy, he's there every day. He works and works and works and does everything we ask him to do, and he's developing into a leader as well. So with this core group leading the way, everyone else has to fall in line. I mean, these two guys are our hardest workers, our most vocal guys. They do every little thing that I ask them to do, so we don't tolerate anything less than that from anyone else if these two guys are going to do it right here.
So earlier we had Benton, and Coach Hendricks touched on it. Y'all both won a state championship. What does it mean to that community? If just both those towns are so close together and tight-knit and stuff. What does that mean for y'all both to win a state championship in a basketball community that historically really isn't a basketball community?
Yeah, it's amazing. Not traditional basketball schools. Obviously, we've had a ton of success in baseball in the past, and now football. Coach Hendricks, actually, a student taught under me my first year at Bryant, and helped us that year, and then he moved on. And I heard what he said earlier. It was one of the few interviews I got to watch today, and he's right. It's about the players. We've had really good players come through. We've been fortunate to do that. I think Bryant's an attractive place. Saline County in itself is an attractive place. The school districts that are in Saline County are attractive, and the growth has been still growing. So it's been phenomenal. And I think our districts really have supported us and wanted it. But Summerwood Sports, building the gyms right there in Bryant, has helped. A lot of attention has come to Bryant and Benton and Saline County in general, and outside of the Little Rock area, where it's become a bigger deal, and now people don't even realize what it used to be like. The players that we have now have no idea what it used to be like at Bryant when I first got there and before I got there. It's changed a lot, and in a way I want them to know the history, but in another way I'm glad they don't know it, and I have to tell that story because they expect excellence, and that's what we are about every single day. And we have a nice facility, and we have a lot of support now, and it's nothing like it used to be. So we're very blessed. We're very fortunate, and it's more than just one thing. I'd like to think that I do a good job, and I know Coach Hendricks does a good job. It's about the players. It's about the districts buying in. It's about the community. It takes a whole lot to run a high-level program and to win at a high level. It can never be narrowed down to one thing, but if you could narrow it down to the main thing, it's the players.
So my question is for the players first, and then you, Coach, and specifically the two seniors here, is that the class of 2026 in Arkansas right now has 10-plus kids, these two being part of that have already signed to go to college before the season has even started. I'm really heavy on recruitment here in the state. Can you talk about how special and how important that is?
Players first?
Yeah, players first, yes, sir.
I would just say really it's a blessing to even be recruited inside the state. I know it's been kind of hard, especially in the state of Arkansas. We're a little slept on, and not being such a big name like the others and stuff like that for me and RJ. I just take it as motivation because eventually we all got to get to the same spot, no matter the route we go, how long it take. So I just really just been taking my time with it. I know where I want to go. I know how to do it. I got my brother, so I'm not really pressured by it for real.
I agree with CB 100%.
How important is it to you, RJ, that you guys are, some of the leaders of this 2026 class? Like I said, they have signed before the season with a bunch of kids that will probably follow after you. How important is that to you to lead the way?
It's very important because a lot of people don't get to go through that. They don't get to experience the college level of basketball, and for us to do it, I've been knowing him since we was kids. So like for us two to be like some of the first people to do it, that's what's up.
And then also to you, Coach A, how important is that for you and Arkansas as a whole in basketball?
Well, it's really cool. There's so much talent in Arkansas, especially for what is considered a smaller state population-wise. When I talk to college coaches all the time, they say, well, we want to get into Arkansas. We want to get Arkansas. We feel like it's undervalued. But we're sending kids as a state over and over on a yearly basis to all levels of college basketball. I'm not from here. I'm from Kentucky, a basketball state. And when I got here, I was blown away by the talent, the coaching, the commitment by the school districts, the facilities. So it's a top-notch place to be. I know that as a state we love our football, but the basketball really is high level. And thanks to people like you that promote these kids, and all the kids know each other. All these guys know each other, and they work out together, and iron sharpens iron. And personally, I don't know that they're thinking about leading the way in this class. They're probably just trying to do what's best for them, and it's everybody thinks they want to be recruited, and then you're recruited, and it's pretty stressful, and it's a lot to deal with. And I think that they're both happy and relieved to have found a school and be committed and sign next month in a few weeks. And we're excited to see other guys across the state reach their dream and then make a new dream and keep it going.
Coach, I'm pretty familiar with this group, and you all playing in the matchup showcase. You also be playing in the matchup showcase this year. Talk about other non-conference games that you have scheduled and how important that is going forward.
Scheduling for us is very tough to get all the games and to find opponents and to make it all work. But we've made it work every year so far. My philosophy is I want to do what's best for them, and they want to play in the biggest games that they can play in. We're fortunate enough to have good players where we get invited to things like the matchup and the King Cotton and the Hooping on the Hill in Fayetteville and some things like that. So I would get them in it, and then we fill in with whoever wants to play. We've got a tough schedule again, so we open up. We got Parkview and Mills in the matchup, and then we turn around and play Mills again 3 days later, just a game we had already scheduled. We're going to play, of course, Benton, Maumelle, Morrilton, teams that are playing for state championships, teams with college basketball players on them, experienced coaching staffs. We're playing in big events. We're going to be playing in front of a lot of college coaches. So we're out there. We're out there, but I'm just not one that really has ever worried about my career record or my personal record. You don't get into coaching for those reasons, or at least you don't stay in coaching for those reasons if you get into it for those things. I'm in it for them. And, take last year, for example. It was a hard year. We had a very, very challenging and demanding schedule. Yeah. And at one point, we're 13-9. And then you look up and we're 23-9, and we're celebrating in Hot Springs, and you're waiting to talk to me, and you got the phone right there on me. So this is just what we do, and we're blessed to do it. I'm happy to do it for them. It does cause a little bit of stress because it's tough opponent after tough opponent after tough opponent, but we do it for them, and it helps us grow and develop, and helps us get us ready for late in the year.
I was also going to ask Coach about some of your guys that might not be here with you today. I know Mason's one of the younger players on your team. I know Jordan Warren's a multi-sport athlete. He might be joining later in the year. Can you talk about some of those guys that we don't see today?
Yeah, Jordan has decided not to play this year, but we do have some other guys that we've got a host of other guys, and we're just not sure who's going to emerge. It might be somebody different every day, but we've got a couple of guys in football, Jock Suggs, who just moved back into our area from Vegas, Ryan Young. Then we've got other guys like Braden Domaris, Spencer Ruff, senior shooter for us, Terrence Cochran, Atisa Walker came back to the Bryant School District this year. We're hoping he can step up and be a big player for us. Dajuan Ellis is back in the Bryant School District. We're hopeful for him to be a big contributor for us. Who am I leaving out?
Dez.
Well, Dez is hurt this year. Dez Hall, big part of our team. He tore his ACL. He's out for the year, but he is he's going to be one of our student assistants this year. Big part of what we do. Big energy guy. Nate Garrigus is another one. Hopefully, I'm not leaving anybody out, but we've got 12 guys varsity roster that we feel like all 12 can help us.
Okay, Coach, that concludes our interview for this time. We appreciate you all coming out, giving us opportunity to do so.
Thank you for having us
Thank
yet
you,
again.
and
We're
good
looking
luck.
forward to the matchup. Thanks to all the media that's here. We appreciate you guys, and thanks for all you do for these players and for high school basketball.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
We've had enough of this nonsense.
That's nice.
All right, we're back with Coach Eric Teague and the Bryant Lady Hornets. Coach, if you don't mind, take a few minutes, introduce the four ladies that you brought. Tell us a little bit about each one and the reasons why you chose to bring them.
We got Kyla Daly over here. Kirsten is her twin sister. Daly right here. We got Gia Campbell and Josiah Williams. They're all sophomores. We chose them. These three right here, Kyla, Kirsten, and Jai, they started for us last year as freshmen. And they weren't here last year. This is a completely new crew. And we had Gia, she moved in, and we're pretty tickled about that. They're starting to learn how to be leaders. They're definitely competitors, and that's what we're needing. But we're just happy to have them with us.
And Coach, remind me, second year, third year?
This is my third year.
Third year. You know, you're building this program at Bryant. And again, Bryant's, Saline County is not your typical basketball capital, right? But it has been over the past few years. It's got to be exciting for you as a coach to be at Bryant when the county, which used to be all football, is now turning into a basketball area.
It is, especially with the boys right now. But I think the girls are up and coming. We've got some talent around this area, and these are some talented kids, and their inexperience shows sometimes right now, but their excitement about the game of basketball and just their athleticism, that's what gets me excited and looking forward to this season.
And young team last year, young team again this year, right? And, it doesn't help that you're in one of the tougher, if not the toughest conferences in the state. Talk about what you have to do to prepare a young team to go up against those 6A teams on a week in and week out basis?
Yeah, of course we work on skill level and fundamentals and things like that. But with a young team, and what I've seen is just the mentality, the toughness, the physical toughness, but the mentality of being able to get through situations and not get down and not stay on real high highs or real low lows and just stay in that middle area right there. And that's probably going to be our secret this year, is just our mentality. And if we can tough through those times and push through them.
You know, I'd like to hear from all four of the ladies, just building off what your coach just said. You know, you guys are not seniors, but he brought you here for a reason. You're probably going to be the leaders not only on the court, but also off the court. You know, so we can start down here. If you don't mind, just each one of you guys talk about, you know, those roles you're going to embrace moving forward, not just of being a leader on the court, but also off the court.
You know, well, starts off, mostly mainly on the court, you know, building that foundation, culture of the team, you know, because, you know, as we, like, go and continue to grow, all of our skill and, you know, just over the time, our growth is going to show eventually. And, you know, the bond that we have with each other, it's not going to stop, it's going to keep growing, but also, you know, just having that growth within us and our mentality of to just keep going and never giving up with each other. Yeah, and like she said, this also, like, the upcoming girls, 9th grade, 8th grade, like, show them, like, even though we're younger, we still, like, have the mentality of older seniors, juniors, and we can still do anything that's possible like they can.
Yeah, I think just because we're young, they underestimate how much we can lead, but you can be, like, in a lower position and lead, and yeah.
I agree with them. Us being sophomores puts a target on our back, and we are, you know, not as experienced as the seniors and juniors, but us all already having that year and playing helps us.
And Coach, if you don't mind, you know, talk about when you were looking to schedule your non-conference this fall. You know, in your head, you've got to be thinking, I've got this young team. I don't want them to get pounded on a week-in and week-end basis, but I also need to schedule teams tough enough to prepare them for 6A. So how did all that come into play with scheduling your non-conference games, and then what non-conference games, you know, can we look forward to seeing you guys play?
Well, you know, I thought about that, and I'm not very cautious with that. I mean, I'm going to throw them into the fire immediately. But we discussed that with them. They know it. They know that we're there to play the best teams in the state of Arkansas, if we can, and against the best players. I mean, a lot of these girls right here, I guess all of them probably want to go to college. And with those big matchups, people are going to come watch you. You're going to grow with experience, and you're going to understand how to beat good teams. And that's what we're trying to do with them. And, you know, we have added some teams to our non-conference schedule, like Farmington and Fayetteville and Northside's there. We had play them every year. Greenwood, Nashville, Little Rock Christian. I mean, it just goes on down the line. There's just we didn't schedule easy, but we're deep enough. I think even though we're young, we're deep enough where we can absorb a lot of that pressure. And I think they're looking forward to it, and that's where the mentality is going to, I think, grow through the year. If we can get through that non-conference schedule and get that toughness about us and understand what it takes and not get down, the mentality comes, then we'll be, you know, ready for that. The conference is going to be brutal.
Could you not mix in a few cupcakes in there along the way?
Not really.
You know, why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the, you know, you said you got a really deep team. So who are some of those other players you're going to be leaning on other than the four you brought?
Well, we've got, I'm going to get my list here. We've got Carrington Marks, Bailey Walker's a freshman, Lois Babumi, I hope I didn't mess her name up, is a freshman, Paris Lacey, there's several of them. And Nia Brown, she's a junior for us. She's coming back from last year. We just have 4 people that are coming back from last year's team. But the difference in this group, they're more competitive. So our top, most of our players, we get to have competitive practices now. I didn't feel like we had last year. So, all these girls are contributing, whether they think so or not, whether they think they're at top 6 or 8 girls. But that's I think it's going to make a big difference is our practices are so competitive now.
I know this is in the past, but the run you had at Melbourne, I mean, it was historic on a lot of levels. And you think about, a 2A team that was beating really good 5 and 6A schools. With you having, especially the past 2 years, such a young team, do you ever talk about that with them, just about setting a standard? And again, I know you're not trying to compare other teams or anything, but just having such a young team, is that something you ever talk about?
I do. I try to, and I try to put it in a way just to not like we're bragging about it, but let them know that, I as a coach have been there before. I've seen how a team and a program has progressed and went to an extremely high level. I don't know if they like me talking about it or not, but it's not to rub anything in or say you're not like this. I'm trying to tell them because I think they can be that way. I believe in these kids, and I think if we can ever get that mentality, we can be that team. But yeah, we talk about it a little bit, and I want them to understand that, not trying to brag or anything, but I've been there before. I've done the work to get there, and I'm ready and willing to do that work to get them there, because that's where my joy comes from, watching these kids win and seeing their faces. I've done it all, and it's great. But it's about these girls.
To each of the ladies up there, who's the player that you guys look to, right? All teams have 1 or 2 or 3. Practice is rough. You're bent over after wind sprints, and who's that player that's jumping up and saying, let's keep going? Who is that player or players?
I really do feel like it's Gia and my sister, because I might not have that type of energy they have when I'm tired and stuff, but when it comes to them, they're always ready to have that energy to keep going and never give up, because when we give up, everything just breaks down. But when we have them, they just give us that uplift to keep going and to never give up. And then also can transfer over into the game for when we are just completely down, then here they come, just uplifting us and finishing out the game to a possible win with their help.
I think Gia, because sometimes when I'm down and when the team's down, the energy is bad, she's the one to step up more than anybody else, high fives, tell us everything is good, and uplifts our spirit back up, and we, have a better energy when she comes around, and yeah, that's about it.
I think it's Kirsten, because she does a really good job of maybe not sugarcoating us, but being straight to the point, and she's a leader, I'd say.
I agree with them. I have to say Gia and Kirsten and another person that's not here, Kendall. All 3 of them, they have they show a different type of leadership. Like she said, Kirsten's not the type to sugarcoat. Kirsten and Kendall not the type to sugarcoat it. And Gia the type to come when it needs to be sugarcoated,
And Coach, to wrap it up, any final comprehensive statements you'd like to say to the state of Arkansas and to Hornet basketball fans?
Yeah, we've got a good group, and I don't want to overstate anything or say look out, we're coming. But if these kids keep buying in and understand what we're trying to do right there, we're going to be a tough out this year. And I think they need to just understand that there's no really target on our back. We need to go play loose and see if we can knock some of these big teams off.
Well, Coach, appreciate you guys coming. Good luck to the rest of the year. Your Bryant Lady Hornets.
Thank you.
All right, we're back with Coach Ronnie Moore and the Little Rock Flames. Coach Moore, why don't you take a few minutes to not only introduce yourself and your team, but also the players that you brought, because most of Arkansas is going to have no idea who you guys are.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for having us as well. Just to see the football and the volleyball media day a couple months ago spurred the conversation between me and Chris to be able to get this going for the Little Rock Flames. And so we are a homeschool basketball program. We have from 10U all the way up to the varsity level, boys and girls. It is a great program that it's just a different lifestyle. You know, you have public, private school, homeschool. There's all types of schooling these days. And those kids that are at the homeschool level, that lifestyle that their family has chosen and carved out, they get the opportunity to also compete at a high level too. And so I've got a couple seniors and a couple juniors with us today, but this is a very neat opportunity for us because this whole relationship formed through neat opportunity. One of the actual kids at our youth group was a Little Rock Flame player a long time ago. And then he grew up and became a coach of the team, invited me to come coach with them through the program last year. And these are my boys now. You know, I have 2 young daughters at home. I don't have any sons yet, but these 12 boys on varsity, the 10 or so on JV and beyond to the younger ages, these are my boys. And so it's very cool to get this opportunity. And yeah, the homeschool basketball atmosphere may not be known in the state, but you know, these boys did win a state championship at the JV level last year, and most of our team has transitioned up to the varsity level. Half of our roster played at the varsity level last year as well, getting their feet wet. But the one thing that homeschool provides is we have a flexibility with our schedule. Whereas maybe public and private schools have 30 games maximum by the end of the year, we have the chance to have 40 to 45 to 50 games if we really wanted to. And so that allows us a 30-game homeschool schedule with getting 14 to 15 public and private school games throughout the state. So we're thrilled with that. And so today I've got 2 seniors with me, 2 juniors, starting at the end, Jeremiah Bell, Josh Cranford, and then I have Boston Duck and Aaron Hetzel. And these 4 players truly are the epitome of our program. They are committed, dedicated, they work so hard, they take care of everything in the classroom. They really represent the Flames organization as a whole. And one cool thing that we've really been able to experience this last summer, basically gave them a few weeks off after Nationals in March, and we got back to work early May 1st. We set the tone for the summer. And through the summer, we've seen not only basketball growth through our program and our team at all levels, because we've had inter-age scrimmages and workouts, but we've been able to see Christ work through our team, to see the relationship that our players have had in their walk with faith. We've had multiple baptized and really a lot that have grown in their spiritual walk. And I think that has only galvanized our team and our program as we unite together for a season and a tough task ahead, because we do schedule real difficult. So yeah, Jeremiah and Josh are our captains and our senior leaders, and our junior leaders that really epitomize it is Boston Duck and Aaron Hetzel.
You know, I know the common misperception is, it's a homeschool team. There's probably not a lot of talent on it. I coached years of AAU basketball. I coached for Woods Elite. I coached Arkansas Select. And the point guard I had for years, you know, she played for the Flames for years, and then her senior year played for Central. Now she's going to be playing at Hendricks. So I know firsthand that there's plenty of talent on homeschool teams. And because of that talent, you're not afraid to go out there and schedule some good high school teams around the state. Why don't you walk us through some of those high school teams on your conference that you are going to be playing?
Well, absolutely, and that's the big thing that we preached. So I told our varsity team overall had a tough 2024-2025, but our JV was like the bright spot, and that core is intact. And so I told them as we move up to the varsity level that we're not going to take 2 to 3 years. We have just very precious time with our seniors. And we're not going to take 2 to 3 years to rebuild this and turn it back to what the Flames program has been in the past, just a speed bump. That's what, when we look back in the scheme of 5 to 10 years, last year was just a speed bump for the varsity program. And it all starts with these guys. We've got an old team for our varsity team. We have 6 seniors, 5 juniors, and a freshman. And the JV, 14U, all those ages below are loaded with age groups. So we expect not only to be an older team this year and then a balanced team age-wise next year, and then beyond that, it'll be a young team. But the biggest thing, like you mentioned, you said that point guard that you're referring to played with the Flames, and in their senior year, they left. And my biggest emphasis is the Little Rock Flames is a place that you can play all of your years of basketball. I think Jeremiah's in his 11th year with the Flames, and the whole goal is you're going to play tough opponents, and you're going to get quality opponent time. You're going to have the opportunity to be recruited, and we're going to play anybody that wants to play for the most part, and especially with schedule availability. And so I know Josh and Jeremiah, I expect to see them on a college basketball court next year. Offers are already coming in for a couple of them, and I know visits are coming up as well. And so this senior season is pivotal for them, but they are carving the path that these juniors and beyond will know, I can live this lifestyle and I don't have to leave it to find success. We can find it here as well. And so, like I said, they said we want to play tough people and we want to have that opportunity to compete, and we're going to play. Just to name some of the public and private schools, for one, I want to thank Coach Chenal with Russellville. They had a team drop out of their Hoops for Hunger tournament right before New Year's and called us up. And so we will be a part of their Hoops for Hunger tournament, which is great competition with the 8 teams there. We'll also play Robinson at home. We're going to play Episcopal, Catholic, CAC, Morrilton as well. They've always been gracious to play us at not only the JV but also varsity level. So we fully contend to expect to play there. And then at the homeschool level, we have a preseason tip-off tournament in St. Louis the first week of November that 7 of the top 20 homeschool programs will be there represented. We always go to the toughest regionals and the districts we can go to, and then nationals is where the cream rises to the top. And then our regular season finale is against MHEA, Memphis. They're the number 1 team homeschool program in the country, multi-year national champs, and at least right now. So we'll see how we do that. But when it comes to these guys, I think that they are ready for that challenge, and we're excited for the teams that have given us an opportunity to be on their schedule.
Well, I'd like to hear from each of the players, and we can start down here.
Yep.
Talk about, being in that homeschool program, right? Just like I said, most people think, there's not a lot of talent on that team. So you guys got to play with a chip on your shoulder. So just talk about, growing that program, training that program, and getting to the point where you are now where you're ready to play anybody.
Yeah, I think it's just been great because, like Coach said, we don't really have a lot of restrictions on how many games we can schedule or when we practice. So I think when we go into a lot of public and private schools, we're underestimated a lot. But especially this year with the schedule we have, I think we're going to surprise a lot of people. So I think being homeschooled has more advantages than negatives, in my opinion, just because of how much time we put in together, and we're all super close. So, yep.
Yeah, we have a very tough schedule, but that's what we wanted. We've been, Ronnie said, starting off-season training on May 1st. All that work we put in, we're ready to go out there and just prove what we have. I mean, we're a homeschool team. We're going to be very underlooked, so we're able to go out there and just show them who we are.
I think being homeschooled has given us the opportunity to practice and train at certain times that other people can't, and put in extra work during the off-season. We have, how many months now have we been training?
At least 4 or 5.
At least 4 or 5 months we've been training. We've been putting in work. We've been preparing to play these difficult teams that aren't going to look at us on the same level as them. And that would give us an opportunity to come in and show them that we have talent at any level to compete with anyone.
Yeah, I don't think it should be whether you're public schooled, private schooled, or homeschooled. We're all here to hoop. We're all here to play basketball. We take that with a chip on our shoulder just to perform at our best on practices or games, and we just push ourselves to prove some people wrong.
You two guys are seniors down here, right? Are you two guys? Juniors, okay. So I really want to hear from, I'm going to cut y'all out. I really want to hear from the seniors. We don't know a lot about your team. So between the two of you guys, why don't you tell us about the overall team, right? Not just the 4 that's here, but everybody, right? Who are the leaders on the team, on the court, off the court? Who are the scorers? Who are the shooters? Who are the rebounders? Who are the defensive guys? Who are the dogs on the court?
Yeah, we have a really deep team this year, and as far as homeschool goes, we have a pretty big team. I think we've got a lineup 7 guys taller than 6'2", so around homeschool at least, that's not very common. But Josh is probably the most underrated shooter in the state, in my opinion, so it makes it real easy for me as a point guard to know he's out there. And then Boston's our big guy holding it down the middle. He can also shoot it, and then Aaron's just a dog on defense. He can guard anyone. And like Coach said, we also have a freshman, Kanan Jones, who's really good and really athletic. So he'll help us on defense a lot as well.
Yeah, we got a very athletic team, a lot of shooters. Jeremiah here is one of a really great leader, and then his vision he has on the court is very, very good. He's able to find the great passes, able to have a really good ball handling, get to the bucket when he needs to. and just Boston Duck and Aaron shooting and just being dogs on the court, getting rebounds. We have a very good team. I'm just very excited to be able to go and play this year with them.
One thing I'll add to that is there, like you said, the guys that aren't here right now. Everyone has a role on the team. You know, we would love for everyone to be a shooter or a passer, or a rebounder, but it's really every single person has stepped up to what's been asked of them. There are a few guys on the team who may not get a ton of playing time, and you wouldn't know it because they're the most engaged people on the bench. They're the ones who fire up our defense vocally, and they're the ones who are in it every moment. There's no sulking, there's no pouting. Every single person is fully committed to the success of the team and the program. And so, yes, a lot of teams will say this, but like we have 12 dogs, no egos. They play for each other. It's not your night some night, but if it's our night, that's the night that matters. And so we've came back in nationals from down 20 just before halftime to come back and win. We've pushed people to the limit that counted us out. This team never gives up. And so that's the biggest thing is I ask them to do what we do and do it well and to play hard every minute they get, and they never have disappointed me. That's the coolest thing about it. And so I'm never afraid to lose. That's why we schedule hard. We're never afraid to lose a game, but we're afraid if we don't show up. And these guys have always showed up.
Well, Coach Moore, appreciate you bringing them out, giving us a little bit of education, and introducing your players that you brought. Good luck the rest of the season, all right?
Yeah, thank you guys for this opportunity, for the legacy that Kevin Miller has set for this, and this opportunity for these boys. I mean, I speak for a living, and so I don't want to take this for granted that they get the opportunity to show their face and their name, and then in a few months, the same media outlets that give this opportunity get to maybe see them play as well. So we're thankful. Thank you, guys.
Okay, that concludes day one of the Big Miller Basketball Media Days. I'd like to say thank you to our sponsors, First Community Bank, Whole Hog Cafe, and everyone, and American Pie. Sorry about that, and American Pie. Thank you all for coming out, Coach, and be safe on your way out.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.